this is going to be the matchup. APK versus Afreeca, David versus Goliath, most definitely. But, you know, in the David versus Goliath story, it was about getting out your slingshot and really finding where to hit him. I don't know where you hit this Afreeca Freecs squad in order to knock them down. I just, like, there's no eyes present. You know how you're, like, looking at a final boss and you're like, well, here's the weak point. I don't know where that is.
And I think that also APK's almost win came from a lot of different problems that was going on for their opponent inside of that game, but the fact that they ended up losing in the way that they did,
just depressing, really.
Yeah, and we'll see if it ended up affecting them at all, but also coming into this game, where is their headspace at? Because even though they've only played 2 matches right now, the manner in which they've lost, you have to wonder how it's affecting them. And as splits draw on, if you just keep losing, it's really hard.
It's hard to drag yourself back up.
Yes.
I think we've been seeing a lot of this internationally as well. I mean, Crown, after having a decent year last year, is having a woeful one now, and it's only getting worse as the season goes on because it can just be sort of this compounding effect. As we have a look at our starting rosters, no changes here on the side of APK. Cover not coming into the mid lane, which I think if you guys were watching both promotions and anywhere else that he's been playing on any sort of competitive stage, that's probably a good thing. Keine even looked like he was doing a bit of 1v9ing on the APK side. So looking forward to seeing whether he can stand the test of the Afreeca Freecs. Fly having a great season thus far. Kiin having some ups and downs, but the ups have been hella high. And Spirit here as well, finding some success on Elise, unlike everybody else, as well as pulling out that Karthus. Very exciting to watch, and Mystic and Jelly also having some time in the sun. A difficult roster for this APK, struggling APK Prince squad to go up against, but we'll see whether they can do it here today. A reset of a couple of days here, so possibly some time to get themselves together, get back into a better headspace. See a little bit of worry here on Flawless, but maybe that is just killer instinct. Maybe.
Maybe that is
preparation.
Yeah.
My glass is half full. Flawless, okay? Half full.
Well, I am hoping to see some more exciting picks today out of Afreeca. I'd like to see Karthus again.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a pleasure.
I mean, that's always what you want to see. You just want to see Karthus at all stages of everything. If we could just go all for one versus all for one Karthus on everyone's side.
And then everyone just dies together and stays in passive.
I know, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
It's like a togetherness thing. It's just double ace every single time.
I like it.
Which, if you're playing Texas Hold'em, you'd be pretty psyched about.
There you know? Yeah.
Everyone wants 2 aces. And everyone also wants to get into ban and pick for game number 1 here of week 2. LCK Spring 2020. APK will be on our blue side. And let's see what they're going to be prioritizing here in this draft, as Afreeca almost banned the Kiana at the same time as the Lucian ban.
Yeah, that was a very fast decision. I'm actually really surprised that we're not on 10-3.
Yeah, we're not.
I thought this would be...
Nope. Otherwise, you would have seen a lot of discussions about Rumble, I believe. That Scrap Shield situation might be pushing him out of every single role in League of Legends at the moment. Aphelios also getting a nerf of let's take away infinite range on his Calibrum Q. Seems like a good idea, everyone. As our set is going to be the last ban here on APK and Afreeca. They banned their own Pantheon. Fly's sick of it. He's done.
He's done, yeah.
He's played 4 games out of his 5 on the Pantheon, and he's like, this time, I don't know about it.
Champion's really strong, able to be flexed into multiple roles, even able to do some big cheesy stuff still down in bottom, so perhaps other teams, especially inside of scrims, are beginning to pick it up. As APK, no surprise there, Aphelios is going to get B1.
Yep, there's the Elodios. I'm going to do my best to not say the wrong things here. Is the Wombo combo, the Elise that we were talking about before, and the Rumble to come down as well. The Rumble likely to be flexed into 3 roles at this stage, but Afreeca loves support Rumble. They absolutely adore it. And it might mean that we're going to see Senna here in the LCK as well, because Rumble Senna has been a pretty gross combo.
Rumble Soraka. Okay,
Oh,
that's the original combo that was causing
Let's just
Rumble.
make sure that we've only got magic damage in every single role.
Exactly.
That's what we need. And if it is Rumble Soraka, that's like, if you then put, say, Vladimir Syndra or something like that, you've actually just got straight damage everywhere. Because Soraka does surprisingly large amounts of damage. As are the Ornns being looked at, that are not actually locked in just yet. I want ikssu to get some sort of counter pick. So I hope this is going to Keine so ikssu can bring out some of his craziness, because that's how APK promoted. That's how they got here. Keep doing that. Keep doing what worked, because nothing else is.
And Afreeca, they're going to have to respond to this as if Ornn is able to be flexed.
Oh, Ash Rumble also a decent lane. That's a lot of wombo combo. Plus you've got the fire and ice situation going on. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that.
One thing about this, though, is that there's already incentive for the enemy team to have Merc Treads. And so in that regard, the Ash Arrow as well as the slows just get hit a little bit.
That being said, that means they're building Merc Treads and not Ninja Tub.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah,
Blitzcrank.
glad.
Gonna be banned away. I don't know if this is suggesting that it might be an R4 Thresh, or that Soraka could still end up being picked up, but definitely a bit less likely. As APK now, they have to decide what they want to ban away. It's looking like Aatrox.
I just don't think you can pinch Kiin, though. He's got too many champions.
Yeah, there's still way too many physical damage champions.
He is very, very, very good on Aatrox, so I guess just get rid of the ones you definitely don't want to deal with. There's the bottom lane. Hook champions being taken away. The Thresh still available, like you were talking about, and might be something that APK considers banning at this point. Renekton, though, is where they're going to go. I wonder what that means as far as what ikssu is deciding to bring towards that top side. It's likely that he will have to blind pick it, just because already Afreeca have a lot of flexibility as to where this Rumble is going to go. Rumble a great pickup for that reason, as Fly going back to an old favorite here. His Orianna in the Casper Cup was actually fantastic.
The really scary thing about this, though, is yes, the enemy team's not really going to have any armor, and so Mystic is going to be enabled, but you have 3 champions building pure magic damage on the right-hand side. The Orianna has to come in blind because there's very few mages that can go against the entire field without just finding themselves in a pretty awful matchup, but Victor's coming in, and paired with the Ornn, he does end up getting the Rabadon's death cap usually.
Yeah,
and that helps.
The mega death cap.
Yeah, it helps bring Victor back in line with the Victor of old.
Oh, here we go. This is what we've been waiting for, an ikssu champion. Because he's not going to win if he's not playing an ikssu champion. This is why you've got to be yourself, everyone. Stay true to who you are. Don't be playing these meta champions like Set and Mordekaiser.
What?
No. As that's Leona. So we're doing something very different here, and with the Victor being locked in, it would have had to have been Ornn support, and Secret was not willing to reveal that one just yet.
Could be Rumble support here, and this could be a Fiora counter pick.
I guarantee that that is Rumble support. That was already penciled in my notebook, in my diary. Because Afreeca love it. They think it's really strong, and I also think that it pairs very well into the Ashe. Now Kiin wondering how greedy he can be, and the Gangplank is going to come down. Happy to have that decent laning phase at the beginning and trying to scale alongside the Ornn. I really like Cannon Barrage as a response to the Ornn Horn as well, meaning that you can control part of the battlefield yourself, even if the knock-up is very powerful. You force your opponent to reposition, and you can also split push on the other side. So Afreeca, the composition has come together, and this is a lot of AD damage that's coming down now in AoE for this squad. So you do see all of that magic damage, and APK are incentivized to build a lot of magic resist. Then if you do that, Mystic and Kiin will destroy you.
Yep. Side of the team fights. The Gangplank obviously going to be able to scale up and find advantages up there in the top lane. Ashe is going to be a huge component to this team composition, but APK, they do have a lot of scaling themselves. They have the Ornn, Rek'Sai, Victor, Aphelios, and Leona. So this team composition really comes online at 2 items, and then it continues to keep getting stronger from that point forward. So the early and mid-game transitions for Afreeca is going to be really important for them, and going super late game at 4+ items, the team comps just really do favor APK, Gangplank Elise, Orianna, Ashe, and Rumble. The Elise obviously going to fall off and start decaying, as will the Rumble. So we'll see what the first 20 minutes of the game have in store, because that's going to dictate what's going to end up happening.
Well, here we are on the Rift for game number 1. Unfortunately, still no fans allowed. Coronavirus is a real thing and something that we want to avoid here in the LCK. And therefore, until further notice, there won't be any fans in LoL Park. Flawless takes first damage of the week. Volatile Spiderling from Spirit. There's Jelly looking for some harpoons. I think both of these compositions are interesting when it comes to scaling. I think Rek'Sai and Elise both do similar things, although I guess Rek'Sai sticks around in relevance for a little bit longer than the Elise would.
The other thing is Rek'Sai will be more relevant than the Elise because of the way that APK will end up itemizing. Yep. Elise won't find herself being able to do that much damage. Sweeper Lens comes in here. Everyone's just going to share a little bit of XP. Put down a little bit of a zombie ward right there.
Mystic trying to defend his zombie ward. Secret will come over and bop it. Takes a harpoon. Actually a fair bit of damage here as Secret. You may not have wanted to do that as the ward does come in. Down to 100. Oh my god, the flash comes in late, but still has to be used as the red buff spawned, and already APK well and truly on the back foot. Was that zombie ward worth it, Secret?
Well, you got 1 gold, so I do believe that's a hashtag worth in my book, Atlas. I'm not sure about you.
I often do flash to get a gold. Yeah. That's generally what I do.
He has 1 more gold than he would have had he not ate it.
That's true.
That is the way that the math works out.
And also, if he never killed it, where does that gold go?
That's a good point.
Does it sit on the floor? Because if you walk over it, it's not like it goes, there's the gold that you found after the ward died.
I've never heard a truer statement in my life.
Or what?
What, me?
I didn't.
Okay, whatever.
No, it was supposed to be a nice or what?
Sure.
Yeah, you know how it's multifaceted. Secret's in again. Has himself the Aftershock, but not anymore. Mystic cancels that auto attack. We'll go back to these minions. Level 2 gathered.
Hawkshot.
Yeah, taking level 2. Standard.
Hawkshot coming out, and now with all these Spellcaster minions and the cannon arriving, Mystic and Jelly, they could just hard shove this wave and do a cheater recall. And given that Leona has no sustain, coming back into lane with either you pick up a call or you pick up another Doran's Blade on Ashe off the recall would just be a lot more favorable for them to do, but instead they're going to try to crash the wave and they're going to try to endlessly poke, as it looks like Spirit is going to eventually make his way down.
Vision is going to be spotted here, so Spirit knows that they know where he is, but Flawless is still down here. Oh, there we go. Scryer's Bloom spots out Flawless. And now Mystic and Jelly have all the information that they need. This APK bottom lane, everything's just going wrong. A Leona without flash, and now being pushed in behind a level. It's just terrible news for the bottom lane of APK. Alright. Still, that one last Raptor, the lonely one, going to be taken here by Flawless. As I haven't seen an Elise with a lead against the Rek'Sai as far as farm is concerned this large in a really long time. Rek'Sai does get around the jungle very effectively, as now Tremorsense spots out the Elise, but level 4 to level 3. It's going to be a smite fight most likely. Preyseek is going to miss as there's the teleport. Flawless going to have to get the hell out of there. Is the teleport used to get Fly back to lane? And also denies the Rift Scuttler as well. Actually, I think that is definitely worth it. 4 Fly there, gets himself that cheetah recall. The teleport coming in from Keine anyway, so no advantage to be had there for the victor.
And the other thing about what's happening this early on is the Elise, all of our camps are still up. We got a semi-trade going on here.
Yep, the onslaught coming in. Q does miss there from Hybrid, and now Secret down to about 100. Autos to slow down. Frostshot working here onto Hybrid. Severum being utilized, trying to get that health back, but the flash is going to have to be used. Volley comes down, Secret blocks it, and had the Eclipse to make sure that he survives as well. I believe Mystic has popped his potion. Time Warp Tonic may be utilized there because he got a lot of health back at the beginning.
And also this bot lane for Afreeca is just so far ahead right now. They're already up 25 CS. At the end of this, they're going to be up 30, as well as Crash the Wave, and I do believe they're going to end up getting a plate as Spirit now going to turn his attention to the Ocean Dragon.
Should very easily be able to get this one as well. This is a flow-on effect of not only denying Flawless, but also the amount of control the bottom lane has. As this one's going to get pulled out. Flawless's control ward will remain, but Spirit's quite low, and Kiini's coming around. So they are going to stop the Drake for the moment, prioritizing Mystic's recall timing above anything else. As he has the Berserker's Greaves on his first back. An interesting first choice. Will mean that he's able to get around this lane quite nicely. Sidestep things like Zenith Blades.
Movement speed converts into the ability to deal more damage, especially while kiting.
Especially as Ashe, right?
Yeah.
That's what she does. That's what she's doing right now. And Lethal Tempo actually allows the attack speed to scale even more as well. So I don't mind it from a pure mathematical standpoint. Kiin, underneath his turret, taking a fair bit of damage. Just shows that Ornn is just a cool champion. ikssu going to be getting rid of some of these barrels at the same time. That Q does miss. But Kiin probably just looking for a back right here. Flawless. His position, I think, was sussed out by Kiin.
Kiin finally going to end up recalling, but he's down in gold inside of the lane. Or he's down in CS, not necessarily down in gold, as Gangplank is a bit of an interesting champion. As ikssu now is going to get a free recall off, and Kiin is being outlaned right now in this matchup.
Yeah, ikssu actually doing a great job. We haven't actually checked in with the matchup so much this game, so we're not entirely sure how, but might have just been lane manipulation, utilizing Ornn just being good as a champion for the first few levels. As Keine doing his Doinby impression, just Chaos Storming the wave to make sure that he can clear that one out and secure a blue buff. But it looks like Flawless is actually going to be taking his Wolves first, and he'll collect it on his way back. Hex score upgraded. The Sapphire Crystal there as well. Looks like it's going to be the Luden's Echo second here on the Victor. Build that we're completely okay with because it's not a forbidden book.
That is true. Everything else so far going extremely slow. Not a lot of action. Bot lane just completely content to just keep coasting ahead as Rek'Sai is going to come down here.
Being double the CS at 8 minutes into the game is just silly. That's a great stun to come down. Flawless finds his way in there, looking to try and get the easy kill here as Cannon Barrage comes down as well. Mystic, can he actually get this 1 versus 3 inside the Cannon Barrage is the question. Spirit going to come round. Mystic has the cleanse, but doesn't have a second one. Is now Secret in trouble. Flash forward onto Spirit, who goes up into the sky and avoids death. Now Hybrid, can you get the work done? Level 6 was gathered by Mystic, and now trying to get the aggro off from these minions. In goes the Xenoblade. Double kill for Spirit. Can he make it a triple now as Secret trying to run through the alcove, and the level up is pretty nice here from Spirit as well. Secret, I have a feeling you're going to go down as the Q avoided, but gets that CD refunded and will be able to grab the eventual triple as Fly throws down the shockwave. Keine gets ignited, but will be able to make it to relative safety, and the action just never ceases, it appears, after we were talking about a lull state.
And so, yeah, we were mentioning the lull state, obviously really heavy trade down there in bottom, and then it pans to mid lane, and looks like there was maybe almost going to be a solo kill. But take a look at how this all transpires. Hybrid loses enormous amounts of HP. Eladios doing a lot of things. Locking up Jelly. And the heal doesn't end up coming out until pretty late. The Ignite already down onto him as Spirit eventually arrives in. Secret takes the Zen's Blade onto him. And then at that point, they try to immediately burst down the Elise, but eventually she's able to get up into the Repel. Mystic Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but super close range, doesn't have a lot of duration on it, and then Spirit ends up getting the level up off a minion here, which does certainly help out. Misses the cocoon, but doesn't quite matter.
Yeah, and then Q's a couple of times here. So you do need to be in vision for that one to go off. The Aphelios actually got the kill. I thought that it was Secret that picked up that kill there. So the fact that out of Those 2 kills that did go down, both of them are now on the Aphelios. So probably one of the best news stories for APK that they could get out of that moment, despite not necessarily coming out on top as far as kill score is concerned. So goes back, gets himself a few swords, a big one and a couple of small ones. So he's going to be doing a fair bit of work now. See how Hybrid does convert.
And also in mid lane, it was a little surprising that Fly, who has Spellbook, didn't want to trade Flash for Flash against Victor. It would have made him a much more vulnerable sitting duck than Fly would be.
Yep. Oh no. Spirit's going to miss the Cocoon. Chaos Storm comes down, does have the repel.
Spirit needs to drop down sooner.
Yeah, well, the heal does come in. Thankfully, there are Spiderlings to tank up this turret. But that was an odd one. He really wanted to come down on top of Keine there, but isn't able to. Hybrid going to be using his Severum pistol. Help keep him together here in this lane. Having a look at the damage dealt, certainly Mystic doing a great job, and the fact that everyone stood in the cannon barrage helped Kiin's statistics out here. As he's also seeming to have found himself in this lane, able to get the shove, and you know, big power spike in the Sheen just in general, but he's now ahead, or was ahead in that goal.
3.5 minutes until the next Infernal Dragon, or well, the next dragon's going to come up. It will be Infernal. And if we get Cloud Soul, that will be a little bit of a party pooper.
It will. But Mountain Soul, is that much better?
Mountain Soul is pretty valuable if you're APK.
That's true. The Ornn certainly going to be able to utilize that one very, very well. As Arrow comes down, immediate cleanse, but the Equalizer's there as well. Teleport to come forward as Secret's going to deliver himself. He will be the first one to go down, but can they get more as Fly teleported in? 4 people invested and only the support to fall. Still probably worth it. Cannon Barrage also utilized as the Global's putting into full effect here for Afreeca in this early game. Kiin still with control of his lane.
It looks like Victor may be looking to move up to top lane, but just going to take a quick detour and path immediately back to mid. Only 2 turret plates down here in bot, so APK right now currently down about 2,000 gold, but all things considered, that's really not the end of the world for them. Ornn is about to hit level 11, so he's going to be 1 level away from getting an ornament.
Yeah, we're not looking at this game as a guaranteed Afreeca win or anything like that. And APK need to be a little bit further behind before we're riding them off with the current composition that they have. Because I think the ease of use, like just front-to-back team fighting with this particular roster is very comfy. Ornn, fantastic at reliable engage. Secret can do the same thing, non-committal. And now APK are lying in wait. They're looking for Spirit. Can he even get into the sky? The answer's no. Just chain CC'd and destroyed. And Flawless is going to put down Shelly. They'll break open the outer turret in the mid lane. And this is what we were talking about. APK still with some strings on their bow.
The thing that we were mentioning inside of the draft phase, we talked about the early and mid game was extremely important, and even though Afreeca found themselves so much success, okay, well, Kiin should die here.
Yeah, he gets the board delivered, Bellows Breath to come down, and Flawless is barely even necessary in this fight, but he's still going to be able to take that kill away from ikssu, and gather some plates here as well. Afreeca, they had their moment at the beginning, but it's already turning around. Kiin does have his teleport available. Trinity Force was completed on that back, and look, it's not like Afreeca are going to definitely lose or anything like that, but this game is certainly not over for APK.
Take a look at this as Jelly just looking for wards or anything along with Spirit. And then right here, Kiin has to know that if ikssu is positioning the way that he was with that HP, that mana value, something probably should have been aloof.
Yep, and Kiin deciding not to put his flash into that one either. Torch shot from Mystic will just skirt over, have a look at where Flawless is, finding him there, as you can see. Still, Afreeca with a slight gold advantage, largely to do with the fact that the bottom lane is still behind by a lot of minions. And a few extra turret plates also going down on that side as well. Having a look at the amount of gold picked up for those turret plates, there's still a couple that were picked up on APK's side, and in fact getting those 3 in the mid lane with Shelly's help put them ahead as far as the turret plate gold is concerned.
Spirit now.
Moment of truth, LS.
Yep. Well,
are we having fun with the Dragon Soul? The answer is no.
The answer is no. We are going to end up getting a Cloud Soul this game, regardless who ends up picking it up. And you can just see the itemization. The Merc Treads have already come in. Now, interestingly enough, Ornn does have the Ninja Tab Eye.
He doesn't necessarily need Mercury Treads just because he can use...
He also has his W.
Yeah, exactly. So you can use the Bellows Breath to get out of the way there as Hybrid. Getting the slow Mystic. Going to cleanse. Zenith Blade going to go wide. Remember, you get the extra tenacity after a cleanse, and that is exactly what kept Mystic alive there and out of range of the Zenith Blade. Still very, very close. Didn't have to use his flash.
Gold score is only 300.
We're going to land onto Flawless here. A lot of damage going down as the ram does land onto Jelly. Secret was lying in wait, but Afreeca playing on the back foot, as you can see. Kiin up towards the top side, not having to invest the ult just yet. Getting the local gold here for the Gangplank will be important, but he's not going to on this push, I don't believe, as he just walks away. I believe the minions are going to kill it. Never mind.
I am completely unsure why he didn't just take the turret.
He just wants to leave it for a little bit. Put ikssu into a false sense of security as Kiin gets knocked up. And I don't know whether it's false, actually, because he's got a pretty cool cape. And it's going to keep him pretty alive. This scenario is now they're looking for the dive. You can see the parlays are not going to get answered. Kiin still has his flash, trying to turn it onto Flawless, and Spirit is coming in. There's the red carpet. Walk down it, gentlemen. As Flawless, down to 400 health, has to flash out of the way. Chaos Storm was used in the mid lane once again to clear minions. And Mystic just by himself on the bottom side. Secret walks on over, and Mystic's going to have to peel for himself. As APK doing a lot of damage, and finally the turret does go down.
Mystic's advantages are slowly fading away, and this is mostly due to the fact that Jelly is constantly roaming and they weren't able to achieve anything more down in bottom lane. As Afreeca, they're going to end up picking up Shirley here on the map. 2.5 minutes until the Cloud Dragon will end up coming up. That'll put him to Drake Point. As Afreeca, they're having Fly rotate down, but...
oh my god, the damage. As, yep, Hybrid able to get some work done here. Fly not able to get there quite in time. You can see Mystic, he was trying to go for some sort of bait play, still had the flash available, but wasn't even able to use his Blade of the Ruin King at that stage. There's the Shockwave. This one's going to land onto Kiin. The Spy gets underneath the turret. The Ornhorn going to come in. Actually helped out. No, didn't actually do any damage onto Fly there, but it will be a 1-for-1. Jungler for mid lane. APK well and truly still in this. In fact, finally with a gold lead for themselves.
APK is actually quite far ahead right now, which the gold score and the Dragons would not suggest, but Ornn is about to be level 13. He's about to complete his second Ornn item, and so you have to factor in the gold stats that he's getting from just that item, and then in addition to that, Flawless is going to be able to get Obsidian Cleaver probably as soon as Ornn levels up.
Yeah.
Take a look at this replay here, and Mystic just ends up being killed really quickly. And the thing about this is, this team composition will not have a lot of damage, Afreeca, because 3 of their champions are not really going to be able to deal damage because the itemization on APK, and then Gangplank's ultimate dealing magic damage is not going to be that impactful. You see double Merc Treads, Luden's Echo almost completed by Kiin, and then that'll end up being upgraded. The Infinity Edge going to be upgraded by Hybrid. Hybrid also has the Cleanse, which scales against Afreeca, and so all things considered, Atlas, it may only be an 800 gold lead, but it's going to feel a lot more than that, especially because of how the champions all conduct themselves within one another. Afreeca is so far behind.
Oh, Shockwave onto 2. Cannon Barrage is in as well as Fly survived for a really long time. Multiple teleports to come in as you got Kiin trying to fight on his ultimate. Spirit wrapping around looking for an area of attack but couldn't actually get in. The rest of Afreeca too slow to react. And Flawless is still pushing in the mid lane. Equalizer just to try and buy some tempo back on Afreeca's side. And yeah, this is an APK that looks reforged from their disappointing week 1.
Looks like they're even going to be able to pick themselves up. The Cloud Dragon, all of them must be sitting on a lot of gold. Phage and Kindle Gem has been in Rek'Sai's inventory for so long.
Yep, just needed that extra 950. Should actually have that after this, as the Cloud Drake, like you were talking about, is going to be gathered. Hybrid in the mid lane, just pushing. Mystic going to be able to pick up the wave, avoids the Q, which still has infinite range on the Calibrum. Great. No 10.3 just yet. It's probably going to be next week. Most likely is Arrow going to land onto Secret. This should just be a free pickoff, as the slows are going to be infinite, despite the Merc Treads that have already been completed, and Fly is going to grab it with a Dissonance.
Mystic is going to end up being the only hope inside of the sustained team fights that are going to break out a couple of minutes from now. Aside
from Kiin being able to land like multiple barrels in a team fight, it will be all on Mystic. As a lot of that death ray damage also now needing to be respected. Keine with his perfect hex score and Luden's Echo, which will likely be a Luden's big Echo. I don't know, loud Echo?
I like that.
Yeah, something like
Actually
that.
Echo?
Yeah, actually Echo.
Luden's. You know. Not even an Echo anymore, it's just Luden's.
Yep.
Straight up as, there it is, the Ornn item comes in, and also Ornn is 14, which means Luden's plus Obsidian Cleaver or Eye Edge able to be given over right away.
Now the big brain move would be to upgrade the Molten Edge now and hope that Keine accelerates towards a Death Cap faster, so that he can upgrade that instead. Just a lot more damage availability, as the Infinity Edge is, of course, ready to be moltenized.
The other thing about this is we're at 20 minutes. The game is virtually even in terms of gold, and nothing is too awful. The other problem is that a Decaying Elise is the one with all the gold on the side of Afreeca, and that's the worst spot for the gold to be allocated, because this champion is falling off pretty fast. You look at the base levels on everyone else in the game. Keine, 15, Ornn, 14, Elise is 10. And then in addition to that, she built Zanya's Hourglass first. So you're talking about now needing to acquire a Void Staff, but when the game state is as even as it is, your carries are going to be the ones that are taking your jungle camps. Spirit's gold per minute is going to be extremely low. They don't have a Cloud Soul to threaten because APK ended up getting the most recent Drake, and things just feel awful.
Well, now it's a lot of damage landing onto Secret. The Ornhorn going to come back, and can APK actually turn this teamfight? Fly avoids a lot of the damage as the ultimate comes out of Aphelios.
Moonlight
Vigil. Yeah.
Yeah, I got C.
I almost said Moonfall, and I'm like, wait, there isn't a Diana in
Look,
this game.
I've been doing a little bit of my homework.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What is this?
Well,
you're not an Aphelios caster. That's
Vedius told me that he would sub.
Really?
If I knew some Aphelios things, so, you know.
All right, so give it to us. You got to earn that Twitch Prime, my friend.
I said Moonlight Vigil.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you just calm down now.
Come on, he's got a Q for every one of his weapons. I know like 2 of them, I think.
One ability per sub, you know?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, there we go. That's fair enough. I know Severum is Onslaught, and there's like Moonshot is the Calibrum or something, I think. As we've got an ult to come down, Spirit avoids it, flashes over to get away from Secret, as the red buff is stolen, and they get themselves a free flash on the back end. Hybrid, speaking of free things, is just going to be able to take that turret as another equalizer comes in, but bit of miscommunication between Afreeca, as that equalizer was sent into the void, basically.
Okay, well, Luden's Echo and Infinity Edge picked up, as it looked like Victor, I think he wants to go into Banshee's Veil, which isn't that bad. Stack more magic resistance, have the ability to not get hit by Enchanted Crystal Arrow or an Elise Cocoon. It's definitely a completely fine purchase, as I think APK, I really think they're going to win this game, Atlas.
It's not looking good for Afreeca. I absolutely agree with you. I mean, there is, you know, theoretical late-game team fights that they can win, but it's just going to take so much more finesse than what APK's team fight needs. APK, they put ikssu in the front, they get Flawless to jump onto Mystic somehow, and then kill him with his ultimate, and then allow Secret to land a pseudo-decent ultimate, and then you've got so much AoE damage out of Hybrid and Keine that it doesn't even really matter. So throw all the pieces together and you should be all right. And here's the Ornhorn. Kiin gonna flash early and avoids the second part of the ram.
And well, 10 seconds now. Cloud Dragon going to be coming up again, likely going over to APK. And interestingly, these Cloud Drakes, as they come in the later stages, they are actually going to be quite big because it's stacking over and over for the Leona and the Ornn.
Yeah.
And the last I checked, flashes in a 20-second cooldown, Atlas. So.
No, not so much. Not so much. And it's going to be pretty necessary as well, as Kiin putting down some barrels. Flawless and ikssu off on the side. ikssu with his ultimate still on cooldown as Keine very early flash away from that arrow. Knew that that one was likely going to land true, and now with Victor flashless, maybe an opportunity for Afreeca to step a little bit further forward, is now Flawless behind enemy lines. And Afreeca grouped as 5. Jelly in there does have the equalizer back up again. As our Spirit doesn't find the cocoon. This is so scary. Afreeca looking like they're posturing like they want a fight here, but not entirely sure whether they're favored in that moment. As now Flawless going to start up this Cloud Drake. APK have grouped themselves back up again. They are going to lose the Cloud Drake, but can we find an ensuing fight? As Flawless just going to wait for that tunnel, and the Ornhorn going to be called. Mystic in trouble, gets knocked up, has cleanse, has flash. Hasn't used any of them just yet. Eventually uses it, but it's way too late. As Spirit takes down the Rek'Sai. It's a 1-for-1, but there's no Ashe in this fight. The hard carry for Afreeca is down. Afreeca are going to disengage. They lose the Drake, and they lose their AD carry.
Now, Spirit ended up getting yet another kill, and then I want to point out that he built a stopwatch, of all things, to pair with the Zhonya's Hourglass. So I don't feel like it's a very astute analysis of the game state here. As we take a look, and like you were saying,
I mean, there are a lot of moments when Mystic could have cleansed and flashed.
Yes.
However, he decided to not do any of them. You can't cleanse flash out of a knockup, so wasn't able to actually use it then. But when the Ornhorn was running forward, that's when you could certainly use your flash. Sometimes you want to hold on to him though, and this time it cost him. Has himself a BF sword now. Went for the Phantom Dancer instead of the Runan's Hurricane, identifying that he needs a little bit more defensiveness, and might just be, you know, fighting against single targets one after the other. Given how this composition is going to be working. It's not exactly like a death ball comp, APK wanting to have ikssu in the front, Flawless alongside him, so maybe not going to be able to get as much value out of the multi-target.
And Hybrid just going to end up shoving here in mid lane. Probably going to be Runan's Hurricane completed for him here soon, as he already does have the seal. He's been sitting on it for a little bit.
Well,
and okay,
found Spirit. He can go golden whenever he wants as the heal does come through. Repel onto the ward, and APK going to take a equalizer for their trouble. Otherwise not be able to find the Elise, who's very close to getting flash back up, has those 2 stopwatch availabilities, given the Zhonya's and the added stopwatch. It's not a lot of cooldown on the Ram. The Call of the Forge God, certainly one that can come through quite a few times this game.
Now this is going to be extremely scary. Remember, I mentioned how just because APK gets really strong at 2 items, that's not where they slow down. Victor, with the Banshee's Veil, he's also going to get another effective item after this, most likely.
Arrow.
Oh, okay, well. He could go in 2 Rabadon's death cap, but also just has the option to get the Leandre's Torment.
Hybrid had great guns there. Crescendum Calibrum is a good combo. Mark them up with the Q and shoot all of your little chakrams at your opponent from 1,000,000 range. I say 1,000,000 range, it's actually infinite range.
Yeah.
So I apologize. But that includes 1,000,000 range as well.
Okay. How big is 1,000,000?
Really big.
Okay.
Is Kiin going to get knocked up? It is going to survive. Had oranges to eat. Eats them there on the way out. Infinity Edge done for Ash. We've got 3-item power spikes for the Gangplank and the Ash. Now for Afreeca, whether it means anything is yet to be known. Because Mystic basically did nothing in the last team fight, and he's the one that we're looking at to really carry things through for Afreeca.
And Warmog's now complete on Ornn. And so we'll see if he just ends up going 4th item, Locket of the Iron Solari. That would just allow them to power through Afreeca if Ornn were to pick up that item. Looks like Guardian Angel going to be the next item of choice for the Rek'Sai. Stopwatch picked up actually as well for ikssu, so maybe it will just end up being Stone Plate.
Yeah.
As, interestingly, Hybrid did not go Runons. He actually elected...
For Rapid Fire.
Yeah, for Rapid Fire Cannon. As APK, they're just posturing, I think, until the Cloud Dragon. You know, I love this. I love how they're not trying to rush anything. Their champions keep getting stronger. There's no reason to fight.
Yeah.
And unless Afreeca want to be the ones to recklessly pull the trigger, APK should be completely content with just continuing to scale up to 3, 4, 5 items on all of their champions and feel good about it.
Yeah. Onus is definitely on Afreeca to get the work done here. Flawless gonna start up this Cloud Drake. Afreeca now actually looking for a fight potentially. Cannon Barrage is available as Flawless does take down the Dragon. Instant cleanse from Hybrid. Gets him out of that arrow. Good on Horn, but not quite enough as the Cannon Barrage doing a lot of work here. Secret has to flash. Spirit looking for a flank. Flawless comes on over. Shockwave lands, but only gets the Leona. Keine has already flashed now, but ikssu going gold at the wrong time. Should actually create a target for Afreeca to take down, but no, it's Kiin that falls. Hybrid was lying in wait, ready to take them. Chaos Storm not enough to take down Mystic, as now Flawless wants an opportunity to get back in here. Void Rush can actually be thrown out as the Prey Seeker landed, but it did land onto Jelly, not a target that Flawless could actually take out effectively. So as the dust settles, it is a 2-for-1, but in favor of APK.
These kind of trades are not going to be that good for Afreeca. Whenever the scaling team is making out or making even, it's always more beneficial for them. And we got a bit of a
Baron.
No, we got a bit of a I don't know really where to go with this, but basic mathematic failure here on the side of Spirit as he purchases an Oblivion Orb into a team that is stacking magic resistance. So
yeah.
Not the best purchase there. Definitely should have just gone for the Void Staff.
Well, we've got an Equalizer. It comes down and does a lot of damage there to Flawless.
Why does he... You know what? You're the glass half full kind of guy. Give me the reason for the Oblivion Orb.
It's so that he can deny the healing of Flawless. As in goes the Ram. Spirit going to repel it.
Quite.
Severum healing.
Okay. But that's...
Grasp of the Undying healing.
Ah, yes.
It's not about the Oblivion Orb.
Oh,
it's
okay.
about the Forbidden Book.
All right.
That's what he needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
As Afreeca are going for a YOLO Baron. Jelly with the ultimate
They're
almost
all
back
in.
available again. And yeah, this is most certainly an all-in play. Cannon Barrage to try and get them out of position. And Afreeca are going to pull away. Cocoon goes wide. Solar Flare is in as now Secret makes its way into the pit. Hybrid takes down Kiin immediately, and this is going to be a Smite War as Secret tanking up the Baron. Flawless going down so damn low as Spirit does secure Baron this time around. He will need to flash most likely to get out of this pit and does so, but Kaine's very, very low. ikssu also barely limping out of this one as Afreeca walk away with the Baron. Another Ornhorn as Mystic has been holding on to flashes all game. That time, of course, was able to. As APK get the Baron stolen out from under them.
That was really weird that Janna never decided to actually enter into the fight. as that was a lot of posturing there by Victor and Ornn.
Yeah, I'm surprised John is even here.
John is here.
All right.
Do you see where Hybrid was? Take a look at him in the team fight in the replay. As we're gonna see this replay one more time. Even though APK had the leg up, they got too needlessly aggressive. Ended up costing Spirit his flash and then inevitably his life, and then Afreeca bit off a little bit more than they could chew. And just look at Hybrid again. He goes into the fog of war. Kiin ends up going too far forward. Now, take a look at this team fight here. Spirit eventually gonna go in onto Kiin, locks him up. ikssu doing his best to tank, and watch Hybrid. This whole team fight.
He's wandering around doing nothing.
He's dancing.
He is.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow ends up landing onto the Victor. Hybrid feeling like he can't get into range, and then again, continue to watch him as Ornn walks forward, as well as Keine.
And Hybrid still.
Hybrid
quite there.
He's doing something.
Well, maybe he'll do something now, as we've got once again both teams posturing against one another. Good cannon. Sorry, barrel lands onto Hybrid in the back line.
And so the Baron flip has brought Afreeca a chance where if they can somehow miraculously win a team fight through just sheer mechanical outplay of APK, they have a real chance to try to get some footing back in this game. And I think also if you're Afreeca here, you let APK take the Cloud Soul in order to allow the Elder Dragon to spawn, because that's going to be one of their actual outs. If you take the Cloud Dragon, you're guaranteeing this game's going another 10 minutes, and I don't think that's what you want to do when the enemy has Victor or Aphelios.
Oh, heck no. That being said, some of these barrels that Kiin is lining up are certainly working, starting to soften the members of APK if he does eventually land them. He will have a lot of damage. The IE Essence Reaver and Trinity Force is all of the CDR that you would need, as well as a heck of a lot of damage, and now building towards something like the Guardian Angel into Sterix for some extra survivability. Gangplank does scale, and we've got a Rabbidan's Death Cap completed here for Fly. He needs a Void Star. So hopefully, he's going to listen to us, build that one next. Mystic on 4 items, as you can see the heart monitor of a gold graph at the bottom of your screen. Certainly suits APK, who are still just... This is not fast and loose League of Legends by any means.
This is the...
They are slowly but surely boring Afreeca to death, and it will work.
It's something.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, we're on soul point for both teams now, as Afreeca did elect to take down the Cloud Drake.
As Morellonomicon was picked up by Elise.
Yep, got the Forbidden Book Power Spike. There we go.
That's truly something else. I'm gonna need to take a quick photo of that one. Hold on here.
Yep.
And I got that for the record books.
Yep.
And
it's in the record now.
Okay,
that's going on your permanent record, Spirit. You can never wipe that slate clean. Wow, death rate really starting to tear through the members of Afreeca.
Victor also building the Forbidden Book.
Oh, Mystic, not going to get hit by that one, as now Flawless has to be careful. He may just die here, as he does get the tunnel. Equalizer tries to find the Rek'Sai, but doesn't. ikssu going to be the one to eat the arrow, but not exactly the target that Afreeca want to be focusing. Bellows Breath to try and avoid some CC, but no hard CC actually coming down there as Mystic, oh my goodness, tagged by the Moonshot, but not the Moonlight Vigil, and will survive for the moment.
Hybrid not able to find his ultimate inside of that team fight. And APK is really fumbling in a lot of these team fights. Afreeca managing to dance and just play it a little bit better with their spacing and decision making inside of these fights, and it's really allowing them to remain in this game, even though it should have been over several minutes ago.
So Flawless didn't need to go in there. You can see ikssu, he's got the Ornhorn back up again. Like, it's already up.
Yes.
It's crazy the amount of ultimate cooldown reduction that they do have, and the Ornhorn at level 18, sorry, at level 16, of course, rank 3, is just not a high cooldown anyway. As Secret gets slowed by the dissonance, but there is enough magic with this to mean that it's not too much of an issue here, as Has used the searing charge to get to safety. But honestly, I don't know how much danger he was ever in. As a man with a Warmogs and a heck of a lot of sustain and defensive statistics.
Yeah.
He'll be absolutely fine. Damage dealt, gigantic on the side of Afreeca. But if it's all being done to ikssu, who's got a Warmogs and, like we were talking about, a huge health bar, it's not really a big deal.
And Baron's going to be up. Flawless level 14. The junglers are really, really low level. They're almost same level as the supports. As this,
I mean, you don't get much experience from just tunneling between your two tunnels over and over
you
again.
leave Flawless alone. Rek'Sai's getting plenty of exercise.
All right. That's a good point. It's not all about just experience, as Mystic. Not tagged by the first half, not the second either. It's only going to land onto Spirit. Cannon Barrage is the trade. Jelly down to half, but Secret as well. Almost out of this fight completely. As the arrow lands, oh, just a flash on the spot. It's the shockwave to find Kiin in the backline. This could be the team fight that Afreeca were looking for. The hybrid auto attack, something for goodness sake. Spirit takes one and it does so much damage, but the Q is going to miss. And now hybrid in the front line is not where he wants to be. He eventually goes down. 1,000 gold for Kiin. This is the team fight victory that Afreeca were looking for. A disaster for APK in the game that they were supposed to win.
This was a game where APK found themselves with so many surreal advantages, especially given what happened in bot lane early on, as well as how good of a start Spirit had. And so for them to bring it back to just keep losing by going for one-man Ornn ultimates over and over, to Victor flashing into the Enchanted Crystal Arrow in this final team fight, they're just not up to the same level of mechanical ability, as well as these long stalemate games. They seem to fall apart gradually as it kept going on. We saw T1 ended up winning games in similar fashion.
Yeah, and
against
the
other
first match
teams
against Damwon, yeah, they were able to take the series, and they certainly shouldn't have.
The thing for me about this is it leads the winning team to false conclusions.
Yeah, I really hope that Afreeca assume that they lost this game.
Yeah.
Because actually, based on the draft and where the game got to, against most other teams here in the LCK, they would have lost.
Right, if that were T1, if that were Sandbox, if that were Dragon X on the other side, in the spot that APK was in, this game was over for Afreeca a long time ago. It never even came down to this team fight. But the decision-making with the Ornn ultimate, the just sheer mechanics that came out of Kiin as well as hybrid, everything was just...
I think Keine was actually the one trying to carry.
He was trying.
He was trying, and that's why, you know, that one fail flash in the last team fight honestly felt like lights out, and I think Afreeca recognized that. They found that, like, this is going to be the Achilles heel of this squad, because Hybrid was playing way too scared all game.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually able to step forward and get any of the autos. He had Gravitum ready for that last team fight, and straight up wasn't kiting, wasn't controlling, wasn't contributing for his team.
Absolutely, there were some spots where he can't realistically get into the fray without putting himself at too much risk, but a lot of that is a byproduct of his decision with positioning leading up to certain things. And
yeah,
even though it was definitely, this is definitely one of those Twilight Zone wins.
Yeah.
Definitely strange, as I don't really know who to give MVP to. I guess Mystic, just for being so consistent. I can't give it to Kiin. He ended up actually losing his lane straight up to the Ornn.
Yeah.
Can't really give it to Fly either. He didn't do anything spectacular. Spirit.
And Spirit built a Morellonomicon, so we can't give it to him.
Spirit.
I'm going to give it to Jelly.
Yeah.
Because he's the only other one.
Spirit failed math class, so.
Yeah. I just don't want these Elises to keep getting MVPs.
Jelly would make, I believe that it goes Mystic, then Jelly. Yeah, Mystic, then Jelly. Would be my take. I'm interested to actually see what the vote does end up being, though. because this was a very long game, and when games do end up going long...
Mystic played this team fight about as flawlessly as you can. Pretty exceptional stuff. His positioning on Ashe in late game team fights is... It just gives me those Prey shivers from the old days. And you saw this game was very close. This game should have been an APK victory. But when it came down to it, the Ashe did a hell of a lot of damage. The cannon barrages were just soaked by Ornns and Rek'Sai's all game, which is why the Gangplank damage stats are so extraordinarily inflated. But Kiin, his damage percentage numbers are going to be silly for this split if he continues to pick champions like his Aatrox or his Gangplank. And we'll see what he does pick in game number 2, and whether Afreeca Freecs are going to learn from this experience as more of a loss rather than a win, despite what it says on the scoreboard, because the draft wasn't what we wanted to see.
No. Yeah. And there's no reason for APK to put themselves into those holes that they have to dig themselves out of with mechanical prowess.
Yep, well, let's see what happens in game number 2 after a short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020. We're up to game 2 between APK and Afreeca Freecs, and I want to caveat this one because, yes, congratulations first to Mystic for picking up that MVP, but when it comes to APK versus almost anyone, having a look at feedback for this game is sort of comparisons between regions and things like that, but when teams are so split as far as skill disparity, and APK barely promoted themselves into the LCK and are a bottom-rung team by all means. Trigger is going to be coming in here, substitution for Hybrid. Hybrid did not have the greatest performance on a 5-0-1 Aphelios as the game drew on, and I think I can understand this pickup. Yeah, Aphelios? Aphelios?
I thought it was Janna.
Well,
sorry.
I mean, he auto-attacked about as many times as a Janna would.
I'm not sure about that, actually. I think she would have woven some more.
The auto-attack threading, certainly important here. We're going to check out Mia, of course, formerly sub for KT, was behind Mata on that roster. Mia has been subbing quite a lot since that time, but hasn't actually had much game time. So interested to see what he's going to be able to do here with a new and improved bottom lane, hopefully, for APK Prince. Let's see whether it's going to be enough to get them across the line as we hop into Champion Select for game number 2.
Let's also see if Afreeca has anything actually special going on here.
An Ornn ban.
With what?
I think an Ornn ban is...
Just pick Ornn.
Or pick it.
Ornn is B1-able.
Actually, just B1 for
you know what? You know what I want to... You know what I just want to see?
What do you want to see?
I just want to see... Just ban Aphelios MF.
Whoa.
And then see everyone's brains break.
That's crazy. You can't ban him. It's impossible to ban him. The only AD carry you can ban is Lucian. You know that.
Ban Aphelios and MF.
No. You're crazy. You got to ban Pantheon. It's so important.
Just go for the triple AD ban. MF, Senna, Aphelios. Let's have an honest game of League of Legends.
All right. Well, I mean, I think that you're insane.
Okay.
Can't do that.
Afreeca banning away the Keine as well as the Pantheon. Now, it's strange that they don't want to play it. It is a lane neutralizer, and it does just... His E is really gross.
Yeah, and
his E is so gross.
Fly has been playing a hell of a lot of it. As you can see, Afreeca, they don't want APK to have the flexibility of the Rumble, and they want to first pick the Aphelios, and they will be able to do exactly that, unless set is going to be the decision. The B1 set plague has been upon us since week 1, but it is going to be avoided as the Aphelios is, like we expected, locked in.
I would really like to see APK get baited here, and okay, well,
Good God. That was just the instant Soraka. Maybe that's why Mia's coming in. Maybe we can flex the Soraka a little bit better now with Mia on the roster instead of Secret. I don't know.
I don't know if Kiin will try any of the Soraka counters here. And so, typically you can play Mage's top lane into her. You can play Tryndamere into her as well. So you can take Syndra top lane, you can take Azir top lane.
You're a big fan of Tryndamere at the moment, aren't you?
I am a big fan of Tryndamere. I think Tryndamere is very hard, both individually for the player to pull off, I think that a lot of people see him on the surface as just being a right-click champion, but to get his abilities off, to actually utilize his W well, to space on him correctly, to do his cancels and everything, it does take a lot of skill. And also, the Undying Rage at the absolute last second to get full value.
Timing on Undying Rage is very, very important.
All right, well, APK is actually taking away one of the Soraka counters as Afreeca now picking Victor. And it's always a sad time in the meta when the stat checkers like Victor do end up resurfacing, as Irelia now is going to bite the dust. Irelia, another champion that if she clips Soraka with the E, can just try to all-in her.
Yeah, and you can sort of pretty comfortably throw that one out from range as well, so you can understand why it's something that ikssu Soraka would want to avoid. Showing us more and more that this is most likely going to be heading top lane, which is something that we've been waiting for ikssu to play for quite some time. So far, only Cube in the LCK has picked up the top Soraka. Kiin going to be banned here, which is interesting. Wonder what Trigger is actually going to be picking up here in the AD carry position. Still not entirely sure how this composition is going to come together in the end. Aatrox going to leave.
Aatrox is a very bizarre ban because unless they're suspecting that Victor would go top lane, but even still Syndra would be fine against Aatrox, and Soraka hard counters Aatrox not only in lane but in team fights. Plays the silence beneath him.
Yeah.
While he's trying to do his fancy footwork as...
That's a Morgana.
That's a Morgana. Yeah.
And you've been calling for Morganas, but just not necessarily in this game.
Definitely not in this game. The enemy has such long range, and now the Morgana's coming in blind.
Well, Spirit's got a big grin, so I wonder what that means. Is we did also get Mystic subbed out. SS going to come in. We've had this a couple of times, actually, where a player gets the player of the game and then gets subbed out. Rewarded with a rest, I guess. As the Lee Sin is locked. And Orianna now being looked at, as it is going to be a mage top lane matchup if this Soraka is indeed heading top lane. And otherwise, it's going to be a Soraka Morgana bottom lane, which I don't know about.
Oh, Pyke.
Oh, we doing Morg Pyke. We are.
Morgana Pyke is going to be the bot lane.
Now, this is one that was popularized by Bang and Effort a while ago. Was certainly a disgusting combo when they were utilizing it to its full effect. Excited to see how it's going to go here against the Aphelios Yuumi on the bottom side of the map. Basically making Double S a machine gun turret monster by himself, just with his little cat on a book behind him.
And the other thing about this is the team composition for Afreeca. They are approaching the Soraka with the mage up in top lane, but we're going to have to see how far ahead they can end up going. Now, APK with the hyper carry in the Soraka for the later stages of the game, they are set to do okay, but one of the things that's scary is there's not reliable sustain damage. They're very combo based.
Oh yeah.
And when you have that with Soraka, it sort of detracts from her value, because then you're always playing around your cooldowns on the Morgana, on the Syndra, on Pyke and whatnot, and also there's not very good targets for Soraka to be healing.
Yeah, I actually think this game is going to revolve around what Mia can do on this Pyke.
Yeah.
I think the Pyke is going to be extremely important, making sure you can get to that first pick-off, and this composition picks really well. They've got Dark Binding, they've got Scatter the Weak, they've even got the Silence to put under it if the Soraka is going to be there. Getting that first kill is a possibility, and then moving towards those resets with the Death from Below is going to be a chance too. So let's see whether they can achieve it as we get onto the Rift for game number 2. Afreeca now with some blue shorts on, and APK trying to draw this series out after a very disappointing game number 1 that honestly was all but in the bag for this squad.
As it looks like the Prince of Persia skin is the skin of choice for Mia. Do you ever play that game?
Prince of Persia?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I played the original.
Sands of Time?
I'm a boomer, remember? Sands of Time? What? No.
What? That one was good.
I played the OG.
I'm done with you.
When you were falling down onto like pits of spikes and you had about 3 pixels to your character.
Okay.
Spectacular. That was when the head of your main character is like 4 pixels large. Beautiful times. Just beautiful times.
You ever play Baldur's Gate?
I did.
You
Baldur's
are
Gate
ancient.
Baldur's Gate 2. Was
You're
great.
actually
That was
ancient.
really, really good. Baldur's Gate 2 just felt like you were playing D&D.
You are a fossil.
Do you mind? I was actually very young when I played Baldur's Gate, so I didn't really get it, to be honest. But I enjoyed it anyway. And,
Well,
Spirit going to come down and look for this red buff. Iksu going to
okay,
collect
one
a bit
more.
from him,
No?
but not too much.
A little surprising. Thought he would add a little bit more damage, but perhaps the minions are going to end up dying. It would have been the funniest thing he smited, and then for some reason Soraka queued.
Yeah.
Just took the red.
He was already in lane as Double S misses 2 melee creeps. Pulls out the Severum and then wonders what the heck he's supposed to do now with no lane partner, really, and no buttons to press, apart from switching my guns, which he is doing a lot. The APM on this Aphelios level 1 is so high.
He has a lot of dexterity. He's very deft.
Yeah?
You know?
Dexterous.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Look at that APM.
I mean,
What
this
a
guy
monster.
is doing a lot of workouts right now.
Yeah.
And so we have to hope that his diet is correct, not just for him, but also his cat.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can see that as soon as I talked about a diet, which was food, the cat came out.
It was like,
So-
oh,
Yep.
wait.
I don't think that's really a coincidence. I'm just throwing that out there.
If it was my cats, it would be if you had have said the word mama, which means treat in Korean.
Okay.
Our cats lose their minds as soon as you say that. So that might have been what Double S was mentioning there in that lane as Kiin going to pick up the cannon creep. Nicely done. See how this one goes is Kiin so far doing okay here in this lane. Staying ahead in farm by just a little bit as the Bone Skewer goes wide. And Trigger just continuing to try and pick up as many minions as he can. Finally, Double S now with some opportunities to actually clear out some of these minions. See which weapon he's going to get next. Is great interrupt there on the you and me. As the Tormented Soil comes in as well. Definitely a neutralizing lane is the Morgana Pike, but not necessarily a hard smash lane. You know, this is more, we're going to clear out the minions very comfortably, and the Pike can roam, get skirmishes happening in the early stages, that sort of thing. So the Aphelios should still be relatively fine as far as scaling towards later stages, even if right now it looks like Trigger does have a huge lead. As Iksu's got to hit some of these Qs if he wants to get his health back. Silence comes out onto Kiin, but Kiin was one of our OG Victor top players. See
Yes.
whether the build is going to remain the same. Do you think that this is just going to be full AP Victor?
Yeah, I imagine that this will end up being full AP Victor. There's no real reason for him to go AD with the Iceborne Gauntlet and then try to go into the weird off-tank Victor. I think that would be a very poor choice. And so far up here, I think he's doing pretty okay. Iksu has an okay amount of HP in mana remaining, but remember, Kiin has teleport, whereas Iksu does not. Although Iksu is keeping up in the CS department relatively well.
Yep. Iksu probably going to be a bit of a wish bot towards the later stages of the game anyway. Really excited to see whether APK can actually make these team fights work, because they will be exciting if we can get the death from belows. We can have the wish utilized at the right timing and carry them through that way, but it will require way more coordination than they had in their last game, which is where I'm drawing some worries for this squad. So they weren't necessarily able to start fights effectively. Follow-ups weren't there. Issues with Call of the Forge God, things like that, when they did have a composition that was pretty easy to play. This will require a little bit more, as Mia's going to get interrupted there by the Prowling Projectile. Corliss is here towards the bottom side. You can see Afreeca with a lane reset. Should be all right.
Well, everything else is, we're just sort of playing ping pong, so.
Hey, do you know what the good news is?
What?
We start with the Cloud Drake, so we're guaranteed to not have that Dragon Soul.
I got some good news today. would like to share with you, yes.
Oh yeah, what's that?
There is English subtitles of Parasite playing again in CGV.
Oh,
I haven't seen
it got re-released after its Oscars success.
It got re-released with English subtitles at select CGVs.
That's really cool. As Spirit gets booped back, might actually have to flash as Mia goes over early as Fly comes in, but Spirit misses a Q. It may not even matter as the heal was utilized as well. Mia going to go down for first blood. Oh, it's a cavalcade of mistakes here for APK as Fly, also very low. And Kiin investing the teleport is why Afreeca were able to make that one work. Spirit really getting picked up by his bootstraps by his team. Keine not with too much HP to his name. Trigger now waiting. Black shield going to be there. It's going to keep him alive. ikssu here, just trying to do what he can to gain something. Gets a plate here on the top side of the map, but not much of a CS advantage.
Also, ikssu went double Doran's ring, which when you're against a mage, it doesn't really do anything. She should have just accepted the magic resistance, but we're seeing in this replay here some fancy footwork by both parties here. Keine not able to get in there without committing himself to death as well. And then Jelly ends up picking up the first blood. You know that cat image from a long time ago, like the bloodthirsty cat? It's very like fluffy.
Yeah, I think so.
It has like really nice eyes, but then the text is something like it's gonna murder you or something.
Yep.
Okay, that's the Yuumi.
Actually, sounds like my cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on there.
He is a lovely boy, but sometimes he just looks like, you know, he's an angry cat.
Okay. Not bad.
Well, Trigger's going to get himself a plate. And we got lost chapters abound for the APK side. Fly also missing a chapter by the looks. And Jelly has the final one, so...
Oh yeah, do you think that the lost chapter is actually just Yuumi's book?
Yeah, that's why it's been lost, because Yuumi stole
Exactly.
it. Yeah. Look at the cat. How that one works. Like if you lost your keys, probably the cat.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Double S getting his Calibrum online. Flawless up here, clearing out vision, but can't clear the Rift Scuttle vision. And it looks like Shelly's not going to be an option that APK are looking for right now. Fly bit of damage onto Keine right there as Mia doesn't get the Bone Skewer. Flawless just going to clear out vision, but no, fails to grab that control ward as Spirit has made his way around. Dragon Rage kick available, no flash. As ikssu gets himself into the river as well. Kiin looking for a bit more. Fly in there, doesn't throw out the shockwave, doesn't actually have it, used it just prior, actually didn't notice when he threw down that ult. I believe that's why Kaine's health bar is a little bit lower. Using it off to the side in the mid lane. Afreeca have successfully deterred APK from going for Shelly. Haven't found themselves any team fights just yet. Mia, deep water dive, looking for Fly. Bone Skewer misses. Good sidestep there from the Orianna. Now Spirit and Jelly are lying in wait here in this river. As okay, there's the kick into the wall. The mini stun's good as the Q gonna fly forward as well. The final chapter has been read. The wish utilized, but not enough. As oh my goodness, no! And there's the dark binding. Spirit safeguards to get out of the way. Ragnarok not enough. As ikssu gets Chaos Storm towards the top side. How did no one die?
Well, Soraka is a hell of a champion.
Yeah.
Atlas. As yeah, she gave everyone a little
bit of a boost.
Yeah, a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a lifeline. At the very end.
Yeah, we're gonna have a look at this one more time.
Look at
I love the mini stun.
Yep. Reactivates the Q, goes in. And
oh, we were waiting for one more auto from the kitty cat.
Says, please let me live. Olaf has no ultimate. It's amazing.
Yep. Nice work, Spirit. Keeping the spirits high. No pun intended. And Fly did pick up his blue buff. Double S down here with a couple of Qs left in his Calibrum. And still just keeping up with that APM. In fact, it allowed him to miss a cannon creep, which is not super great. He straight up misses that Q as well. Sometimes pressing buttons isn't always the best. As ow. See, this is what happens. You get tagged by stuff, and then there's chakrams, and then you're having a bad time.
Well, Rift Herald is going to be tagged here by APK, as they're going to manage to pick that up for themselves. And ikssu is doing a completely fine job right now. He's not really down in the CS department. He also has turret plates. His 2 on himself right now. And so this is definitely a dicey situation for Afreeca the longer that the game goes. And Mia coming in here.
Not going to get the stun, though, as you can see. Flawless. Oh, the Bone Skewer does come back. Gravity Field now on cooldown. As Flawless, what are you doing? Tanks up another turret shot as he walks on past, and Kiin doesn't even have to flash against 3 people. Not going to give that necessarily to Kiin outplaying, though, as Mia's also going to get interrupted. Good ward from Kiin, spotting that out.
And it also looks like they're not even going to bother summoning the Rift Herald in top. Kick on
the kick flash
Kiin.
Into the Sonic Wave. Spirit's going to die because that turret just decided to target him on his way past. That's suboptimal, and actually probably going to mean that it's fine for Kiin to trade 1-for-1 in that instance.
Still will be a net gain, though, for Afreeca.
Yep.
450 versus 300 gold. And I didn't actually see if ikssu's cooldown was up for his R while that trade was going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kenny was probably dead. But yeah, I think might have helped. We'll see this one more time. And the ultimate
does not have it, Kick goes in. Nice knockback there, and then Spirit was still holding turret aggro.
No, he broke turret aggro and then
went back.
queued through turret aggro. Which is not what you want to do. He was trying to avoid that. It was right on the edge. You know. Sometimes you're not lucky. You know? These things happen.
APK now, they're going to be the ones to actually pick themselves up. The Ocean Dragon, and for how their team composition tends to conduct itself, it's not super terrible.
Not a bad one. Not a great Mountain Drake game, though, and that's going to be our soul for this one, for either side. There's not really any burly boys up in here. Flawless, I guess, is going to build some of those tanky stats.
Yeah, as well as Soraka does get tanky items.
Yep, you're going to build Spirit Visage, something like that.
Zanya's on Trigger as well.
Well, now we've got 3 members of Afreeca down here ready to die. It's going to be Spirit that goes down first. Double S is going to flash out. As that's the turret going to be picked up as well. APK with a good play bottom side. This control ward going to be cleared out as well, as we're going to get a double charge out of Shelly. And even Mia zoning Double S away from these minions. Teleport to come through from Trigger. He's just going to clear out this minion wave as the Dark Binding comes in. Turret angry against Kiin, but not going to take too many shots there, as there's the Unleashed Power. Keine, is he going to survive this one? Yes, he is. Fly as well. Last Dark Spear, not quite enough there, of course. Fully upgraded. Does a fair bit of damage, as you witnessed.
Yeah. And
getting his roams off.
This is starting to be very similar to game number 1, where APK, their team composition is very obnoxious, actually, when they're ahead.
Yeah.
The oppressiveness of the Soraka, as well as just having the Pike combined with the Morgana and the Syndra. They have insane amounts of lockdown. Obviously, the silence there to disrupt everything, but...
And you've also got Black Shield onto Flawless as well, who can Ragnarok to get out of CC, but even if he doesn't have his ult up, he can be relevant and can continue to stick to his targets if that Black Shield does come in. A lot of ways to break it, of course, on Afreeca's side, but if they do find members caught out of position, could certainly be an opportunity here as Kiin. A couple of upgrades on this Hex course so far, but now you can see the gold lead finally in APK's favor. It's never been that large, and we're still looking at Double S to be the carry here. Quite confused as to why the Afreeca Freecs did sub out Mystic after it was a great performance, especially at the end of game number 1. Maybe just assuming that blue side will be better here for Double S.
I think that one of the other things is they maybe perceive APK to be weak, and so they can give Double S playtime.
Yeah.
We've seen lots of teams do that with subs in the past, even if it does end up coming back to bite them.
Indeed. Well, game 1 was almost back to bite them, but that was with their main roster. Slightly perplexing. Double Super Soakers done for Keine and Trigger.
And looks like Pyke is going to run down to bottom with Syndra.
Well, ikssu going to get some of his health back here, still holding onto the Wish, as you can see. See how many forbidden books get built this game. It's not a bad option against the Soraka, as Kiin's got a long way to run. No inner turret, remember, as there's the Chaos Storm. Kiin trying to outplay it, but he's not going to be able to. But no extra money delivered, as Death from Below now on cooldown. Meanwhile, topside, Spirit also going to fall down. Bad meat worse. Here for Afreeca. Fly not offering too much. Prowling projectile onto Trigger. This is so interesting to evaluate, though, because like you were talking about, there is no consistent damage for APK. And this is a time of the game where this composition is well and truly online. When you can run around, you can get these picks of people out of position because you're so mobile with things like the Pyke that can really be that roaming death squad alongside the Olaf.
You have the roaming Pyke, the Olaf that's able to be anywhere, the Soraka who's everywhere in Spirit. Given her R as Spirit, just face-checking a brush. Ends up being punished for it. Kiin ends up being caught out here. He summons the Chaos Storm, uses the Q, flashes to try to get away. Fortunately, did not end up giving over a Pyke kill.
Well, that's the thing. I actually think that flash is super worth it because it denies all that extra kill money.
Yes.
That he would have been picking up. So instead of 600, goes down to 3. Well, I guess 450 with the assists that would also be divvied out. But Pyke not getting any of them is also great news because he will be very important come later stages of the game for APK's composition. 24 seconds on the Mountain Drake, but Shirley going to be taken first here on APK's side. Double S there with his Sentry. AoE Sentry, I like Infernum Sentry. It's pretty cool.
All right, well, Shirley is going to be picked up as Fly is now dead.
He's very dead. I just chose to have a sip of my drink at the wrong time there, and then Fly was dead. As Shirley's going to come out as well and take down this outer turret in the mid lane. This is APK playing with gusto, understanding that their composition is certainly strong at this point, and they're able to leverage it, something that APK hasn't been able to do. And look, if you're struggling to play late game, why don't you just not play late game? As they are starting to snowball this game out of control. For Afreeca, Trigger doesn't find the Dark Binding though. Double S will be able to get out of there.
And the other thing about having a 4,000 gold lead is these champions, their items are all really cheap, and they come online a lot faster than a typical team composition. So the 4,000 gold advantage at the top doesn't really represent how far ahead APK is right now as a byproduct of the fact that their items come online sooner than typical team compositions, and also just how effective these champions are when they're even, let alone ahead. So, the Soraka, there's no real answer to her right now. Victor needs so much more time to scale up. You have a Black Cleaver being built on Lee Sin. The opponents don't build any armor, Atlas. I just want to
it's all about
let you know
that true damage that you can possibly stack towards.
It's 25%.
Yeah, it's not
so
really going to be helping, is it? And
let's,
it's also percent-based, so
it's all, yeah, let's take a look at how much value Lee Sin is getting. So 24% of 66, Atlas.
Not high.
16.
You divide it by 4. Which is, you know, not a lot. But it's over
16.5, no?
Yeah.
There you go.
16.5 armor penetration with 5 stacks of Black Cleaver. Sounds brilliant to me.
That sounds like it's a U-moves. It's actually worse than
Oh dear, all 3 members of Afreeca in a whole host of trouble. That's a hula hoop that comes out from Fly, but SS, he's trying to kite this one as Mia. Might be a target, but no. Nothing that the Aphelios can do. ikssu going down low as the cat didn't have anyone to sit on other than her book. And that is going to mean a dead Yuumi. APK, the roaming death squad, working out here. Now Afreeca, can they pick off Mia? Nope. Still had deep water dive, so the Pyke would have been all right. Death Ray coming through Kiin, but just to try and delay some backs. Otherwise, not too much else going to be found.
Well, just take a look at this replay. Strock ultimate comes out.
Meanwhile, Kiin's dead.
I think he's tilted. There would be no reason for him to ever die in that spot. I know that we were checking out the replay, so it can't happen in live, but also him walking up to just QE a Pyke that can regen most of the HP, I imagine that he's very tilted. And Kiin, outside of that Aatrox game that he ended up having so far in LCK 2020, has had a lot of games that look like this.
Yeah, pretty subpar, to be honest. We're going to get this replay once again because it was rudely interrupted by Kiin's death.
Everything just really comes out. Fly tries to make it back to safety as Double S not able to kill Mia right there, as all the heals just keep coming out from Soraka.
Yep.
The Unicorn killed the cat. Let's take a look at this. Why is Kiin walking up? What the
okay. Well, yeah, I was stepping a little bit further forward.
나이스.
야 오빠 나이스. 오빠 나이스.
뭐야 우체.
이게 오빠지.
야,
이게
바텀-
오빠지.
바텀 한번 받아먹고 미드
오케이.
다시 붙고 이거 계속 바...
All right, well, Iksu's a happy man. That's what we can glean from that one. We do have one Morellonomicon completed, which is actually pretty important in this particular game. And the Baron has been started 22 minutes in, and there is no one even near this on Afreeca's side. It's not going down the fastest because consistent damage, not what this composition is all that good at. Dark Binding is going to go wide. Spirit might be able to make this one a 50-50. He comes on over. The Q is going to miss, and Flawless is going to be able to lock that one down. Now the team fight not even going to get opted in for, and Afreeca just had to watch the purple buff be claimed by APK with nothing to do about it.
Now they're just going to turn their sights to mid lane, but they're down 6,000 gold. Redemption completed on Soraka as well as Athene, so the healing is just going to be absolutely ginormous here.
Yeah. Not enormous or gigantic. Both
Ginormous,
of them
yeah.
at the same
Combined.
time.
Together at once.
Yeah, you guys understand that that is much worse. For the Afreeca side, 5-1-1 for Keine. This Syndra is certainly plowing along. Rabbidan's Death Cap on the way. And Banshee's Veil has been built for quite some time. Trigger is Spooky Ghosts coming out here. And alongside the Glacial Augment, able to keep people in position for considerably large amounts of time, paired with his Q and ultimate. Soul Shackles was actually pretty pivotal in the top lane fight, and works with this composition very nicely. One of those designer comps that our friend LS does like to talk about. So far, it is working.
Taking a look at the level. Keine is almost up 3 levels over Fly.
Yeah.
And
And over everyone else in the
yes,
game.
he is so far ahead. And, you know, if you're an APK fan, or if you've been following their last games, remember, they almost took a game off of Damwon.
Yeah, they did.
And they ended up getting CLG'd by Nuggery.
I mean, they should have won game 1 here as well. We should
They
be
should
looking
have
down
won
the
game
barrel
1,
of
right?
a 2-0 right here. That's how this should be going.
And so this is very akin to the Jin Era Bowl.
Yeah. So close and yet so far. They're winning until they lose every game.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Scar.
So, by my calculations here, even though they are up 6K, there's still the chance that they lose a team fight at 29 minutes.
Oh, is it 29 minutes? I actually, my orders were telling me a 32.5 minute.
I don't have the
team fight loss.
script today, unfortunately.
Ah, okay.
G-Sun a little lacking on getting that today.
Well, we'll see where it actually lands. This next inevitable team fight, you can see the Lich Bane was put on hold because Kiin really wants a Morellonomicon for himself. And this game, I couldn't really blame him with the Soraka running around. Spirit not having the greatest performance so far on the Lee Sin, but he can still have that kick. Finish this game off, of course, ikssu going to be a priority target for that one. And if they can soak, you know, their composition doesn't necessarily do it very well, but if they can soak the first salvo, APK don't have a whole lot more after that. You know, it's not like they have auto attacks to rely on from a late game carry.
Yeah. And the other thing about this right now is Double Mountain Dragon amplifying so much of those resistances. It's really basically negating the magic penetration that's being granted by the Morello.
Yeah, Flawless also successfully recognizing that Black Cleaver is not a good idea this game. is what looks like going towards a Spirit Visage. As Double S, he has to cleanse. And Dark Binding going to go wide due to that, but he's still going to have to go home. Siege is on, but no more Baron available, and APK's Siege abilities are basically nil. They're probably going to be waiting for the next Baron before that one happens. Thankfully for them, 2 minutes only before that one does become available again. But look at this, Fly and Kiin sharing experience underneath this turret is absolutely not what you want. There's Double S and Spirit here in the mid lane. Set up, bottom lane minions going begging.
Syndra is so big.
She's huge. Straight to trouble. And there's the Moonlight Vigil. ikssu going to go down relatively low, but he is a Soraka, as now Keine, a one-man army against this Afreeca squad. Redemption comes in. Wish still not needed. And APK back at it again.
And ikssu there, I mean, he still has his R. He still has Flash, he still has Barrier. This game is so inconceivably difficult.
Yeah, this is a roughie. We call this one a roughie.
Well,
if we talk about scaling, though, if both of these teams, right, get to 40 minutes on even footing, who wins the team fight?
with the way that the itemization and the Drakes are going right now, it really does look like APK.
Oh, wow. An AD carry not going to be able to save them from this one.
Aladios, I don't think he has enough.
Well, he's got a lot, so that's saying a lot.
Thank you, Alice, for that. Absolutely.
You're welcome. That's
You
called
are a
play-by-play analysis
You're
right
a
there.
bastion of knowledge. You
I
are
am.
honestly like.
Well, Kiin is not very alive as the Bone Skewer does come back. Oh, Flash comes in there. Mia needed that one, I think, to keep himself alive as the deep water dive not going to be enough. And the stopwatch had to be used there from Mia to keep him up. A little bit embarrassing there, but invests everything, and they do take down Kiin.
And so that's actually not a bad trade, though, for Kiin. They
break a stopwatch.
Yeah, they break a stopwatch, they get a flash, they get an ignite, they get Soraka's R, although Soraka's R probably going to be up by the time the next team fight transpires, but still.
Kiin is also 100 CS up. ikssu
that
sort of stopped doing the farming thing.
Doesn't matter, it's Soraka.
In
Isn't
fact,
that great?
a lot of minions have gone begging on the side of APK. The blue dots just haven't been punished. As Kiin does have teleport, so this is going to be a 5v5. Speaking of which, teleport to come through from Trigger as Mia looking for the Bone Skewer, finds it on to Fly, who's now trying to run away, gets the dissonance. That's going to get him out of there. Few buttons now on cooldown, but it's only the heal from this Orianna. Took the phase rush as well, which I think was very helpful in getting him out of that one scot-free. Mia off to the side. Spirit gets a Q onto a siege minion. It's not really going to help them here as Double S, Calibrum at the ready. See whether this Aphelios can actually get some autos to work out during these team fights. Has Essence Reaver Infinity Edge, so as far as bang for your buck 2 items, it is what you want, but still probably looking for a Runans before he's really going to be the orbital nuke cannon that we see so much.
15 seconds until Mountain Soul is up, and honestly, if you're APK, you could just laugh at Afreeca and go and get it, but it does look like they are keen on trying to fight.
No pun intended. There's the Yuumi with the zoomies. Jumping on top of Spirit, keeping him alive. Q gonna land onto Flawless. Gets slowed down. They wanted to get a Ragnarok out, but they're not going to. As damn Jelly is like, it's a lot of healing. Yuumi still does a lot of healing. Especially with the cup completed. Athene's Unholy Grail. Jelly currently with the Lost Chapter and the Final Chapter, which is exactly what you want. Q lands onto ikssu, but he flashes onto Kiin.
Oh,
they
into
want to
the
try
root.
and take him down, but doesn't have a stopwatch, doesn't have a life. And that is going to be Death from below helping grab that kill also, so even more money now available for APK. Kiin not having a great game too here for Afreeca. And Flawless should just be able to grab the Mountain Soul by himself. The rest of APK there to play defense. As Mia, he had a reset. He wanted to use it before it was done. Wasn't actually able to make that one stick. As Afreeca, things are just going from bad to worse. They don't have the options to try and get back into this game. And they're just getting bled out time and time again.
They have 18% magic resistance and armor.
야, 1000 남았다 이거. 야, 보자.
He says, let's see if he's here. Let's see if he's here. Or let's try this.
봐줘.
Look at this.
Not the greatest
nice.
of ultis.
That's nice. And then right here, silence into Mike, just ripping him right back into it. Now with the Mountain Soul as well, I mean, this game is really looking doomed.
Not great news. Kiin has respawned, flash teleport, both available. No stopwatch, still in the back pocket of the Victor. He wants that as soon as possible. 3-item spike onto Fly. He does have his Void Staff now. Spooky Ghosts. And Blue Trinket comes in. This could be a team fight, but our Victor's still in the mid lane. Spirit wants to try and go for the 50-50. APK just looking to peel, just looking to turn. They are going to do that. Baron's going to regen. A lot of time being bought here as the inner turret now just taking damage. Lane manipulation not quite there on APK, although they do have pushing side lanes.
Now, the funny thing is that if Afreeca were to take a team fight right now in mid lane and then win it, they could end.
Yeah.
Which...
I mean, it's what happened in game number 1.
A Void Staff also on the Orianna, so a bit of a savant with that item purchase against the enemy team composition.
The Victor went back. Inner turret was claimed. Now these minions as well going to be claimed. At least the experience there for Kiin, who does have the final rank of his Chaos Storm. Now Mia going to break the Blast Cone. And APK, have they actually counted the blue trinkets? It looks like they have. Spirit's going to have to face check here as Keine straight into a shockwave. Spirit now in position to try and steal this one away. The Syndra at half health is not what they want, although there is a Soraka. So maybe not too much of an issue. Spirit going to try and safeguard his way out. The Moonlight Vigil does come in. They're trying to corral them. As Double S looking for some autos. Will find Flawless to flash over. Double S Infernum now equipped and a lot of AoE damage now available. Flawless running for the hills, but he's split from his team. Trigger trying to come over and give him that Black Shield. Should be able to do so. Oh, the kickback. The Black Shield is a little bit too late, but Flawless has himself the health regen. Double S. Calibrum online, but Spirit, can he safeguard out? The answer is no, but it's a 1-for-1. Trigger going to go down as well as Spirit, as now Keine trying to do the work. Double S here, trying to be the army that Afreeca needs. And Mia just able to dive over the wall. A much closer fight than most APK Prince fans would have wanted at this stage.
This is yet another example of what just happened in game number 1, where they're being out team fought. Keine lost so much HP, drained a lot of Soraka's HP as well as a byproduct of it. Here they're all funneling into a narrow corridor trying to chase the Lee Sin. They line up for Yuumi. Wish comes out onto Soraka. An E cast by ikssu for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And the Soraka, honestly, a lot of the decision-making inside of the fight for E and Q cast, even right there, missing the Lee Sin with the E when he was in stasis.
Yeah.
Is very peculiar. ikssu even slow to cast the W on Keine there.
Oh no, could it just be a face check? No, Flawless a little bit early with the undertow. Not sure what he was trying to throw it at there. They did throw down the ward.
And also,
out positioning.
Kiin's build has been so staggered.
It's a very strange build, right?
He originally had Blasting Wand and Sheen wanting to eventually complete into Lichbane, but then I think that because of the dragons as well as the game state, he went Morello and now he went Void Staff just so that he has damage. So sitting on that Sheen all game long definitely feels bad, man.
Well, Spirit, he is going to be in there, but not able to steal away the Baron. Pick also not utilized as now Afreeca. They want to try and find themselves a team fight. Their AoE damage, if they land it, is huge. But you can see APK able to corral, get them out of the way. Bone Skewer lands onto Double S. Crescendum and Infernum equipped, but you don't really want to be close range right now. As the Aphelios, now with the Baron buff, APK will break open the base, take the top lane inhibitor at least in this moment. Spirit going to be up in 10 seconds, a possible team fight to erupt after that. All ultimates available here. A reset for APK be pretty easy, and then 30 seconds until the Elder Drake, possibly just the end of this game. 3 games for APK Prince against Afreeca. This is not what I was expecting the first series to be. The long series today was supposed to be our second one between our 2 former promoted teams. That was so close from Spirit. He in fact did get the smite off. Just a little bit too early.
Well,
all right.
Mia now coming in here on Double S, yeah.
Did have a bit of the CC, but not enough to actually lock down the Pike. Pesky Pike.
Now, Elder Dragon is going to be the only out that Afreeca has. I mentioned this in game number 1 when I suggested that Afreeca could just let them take it. Okay, well.
No, Fly most likely just dead. The Zoomies did help him for quite some time. And at least Jelly is going to survive through this one also. Double S trying to get some autos off. Moonshot connecting means that the Calibrum is very dangerous from very high range. But just not looking like enough here on Afreeca's side. Kiin needs to be really careful. Keine off to the back. Doesn't have ultimate just yet, but as soon as that comes back off, it feels like one of these Afreeca members is just straight up going to die. He is so strong. Kiin under the turret, does have Chaos Storm. And Afreeca, they've lost every inhibitor, and now it's ultimate turtle mode necessary. Infernum for Double S will help clear minions. Pretty lucky Infernum. I feel like a lot of Aphelios players try to get through that ammo as quickly as possible. Fly respawns. Pick successful for APK, and now the Elder Drake should just be theirs. Double super creeps marching towards the Afreeca base, and Afreeca has to fight now or never. Now, APK, they recognize it. Kiin flashes immediately, has a big shield as the Zoomies trying to come on through, but the first reset is in. The death from below, Double S trying to do it with the Crescendum, but can't quite as Spirit flashes his way out. Trigger now goes golden, Fly gets the command protect Q, misses from Spirit, so Trigger will survive, and that should be the ace as Jelly reads out the final chapter, but it's for himself and not for APK. We will need to go to a game number 3. APK win their first game in the LCK, and it's against the Afreeca Freecs. Not what anyone was expecting, but great to see from our newly promoted team, as they had to get everything apart from that very final Elder Drake in order to guarantee this victory, but it was much cleaner than game number 1, and it felt like they were winning the entirety of the game and held on to it.
And the other thing about this is you can just see what ended up happening. It's very akin to game number 1. Game number 2 this time, though, APK didn't let it get away from them, as interesting team composition ended up coming out with the win. Kiin looking extremely tilted inside of this game, and I like seeing this. I like seeing unorthodox type of drafts clap the top teams for
I like the
refusing,
design of drafts, man.
yes,
Yeah.
for refusing to adapt to them or recognize them. And I like seeing Soraka win again, because I want to just see how much more stubborn Korea can be in the face of how oppressive, obnoxious, and just powerful the champion is, and yet every team's seeming refusal to either ban it or first pick it, despite its flexibility, and how versatile in defining it is in this meta.
Straight up. Oh, man. MVP selection is quite difficult this game. In my personal opinion, kind of want to give it to the coach for the draft.
I kind of just want to give it to Soraka. There were so many fights that were kept alive and enabled
Yeah.
by her. See, but that's not giving it to the player.
That's giving it to the champion,
Yeah.
but the player picked the champion, and that's probably the closest we can do to saying, you picked Soraka, therefore you won the game. So I'm with you on that one. I think ikssu deserves it. And he was also able to play out the laning phase that can be very difficult against Kiin, just in general.
Mage came out. Didn't really matter in this team fight. Kiin was keen to go next. Kiin was probably actually FF15 in this game in his mind, but unfortunately, team composition had weaknesses if APK did end up getting ahead. And so Afreeca was never on the even footing. Had they been on even footing and had Dragons not been bolstering the resistances, you could sort of see in some of the team fights that the long range of the Victor and the Orianna does allow them ways to try to weather the opponent down and cause the Soraka to be very depleted. And it's only through those means can they really win a team fight. The Lee Sin, he is completely negligible. He can't take Qs in because the Soraka's just going to slow him, silence him. Morgana's going to lock him up, Pike. It all just came down to Victor and Orianna, and they just couldn't do it in the face of all the resistances and just being behind.
Yep. Great comp to come out from APK shows the power of drafting here in the LCK. When it's utilized well, it works. And now APK, they have a chance to do it again and topple the Afreeca Freecs. We'll see if they can after the break. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much, Jisun, as always, for the translation. And here we are, the deciding match between Afreeca and APK Prince. The match I don't think any of us were expecting today.
I'm not happy, Atlas.
Well, I mean, the designer comp won. So that's good news. We've got Hybrid and Secret. They're back. We also, I think, have a bunch of subs on the side of Afreeca as well. I believe we're welcoming Dread. We're welcoming back Mystic to protect his win rate. And All In is All In the mid lane. I believe formerly Sun, who was the
Anivia
He's
god.
an Anivia god, and also, I believe, got a pentakill on Zoe last year. Was definitely a Zoe one-trick in solo queue. He's making his way back in. I couldn't find his solo queue account.
I really
Pretty sad about it.
to see Anivia. I think Anivia is
Is it
actually
Anivia
really good.
time?
I think Anivia is a good champion. I know many people probably would be, raising their eyebrows or question marking that, but I think Anivia is actually really good because all champions suck right now.
Yeah.
That's why the stat checkers are coming back. And Anivia is actually really durable and scales really well, and she builds really good items.
Plus ice themed, and you can then pick Ashe as well.
Love it.
Oh, baby.
I love it.
We should do full
I've
glacial.
Never loved anything more than the words coming out of your mouth right
Oh,
now. Okay.
it's a bit of an overstatement, but I'll take it. I'll
Okay.
take it. We're into pick and ban for game number 3. And team fight commentary is going to be difficult with All In. If he doesn't All In every fight.
Oh no, you just get to make puns.
Is that how it's going to work? No one likes that.
You get to be Twisty Turley.
Twisty Turley?
Yeah.
Is that
see
that
what I did
canon?
there?
Is that canon?
You see what it is now.
I liked it.
I'm a bit of a freak with my words, so
Oh.
don't worry about me.
We don't even need Freak anymore. We've got LS. It's fine. It's been superseded. I apologize, David. It's just how it works sometimes. Jungle being pinched. The Olaf and the J4 going to be taken away.
Soraka gonna be banned.
No, Akali.
Oh man, yeah, this is the fateful decision now. Now maybe they just don't give any respect because ikssu probably can't even play Akali.
Yeah. I mean, I assume.
I think that's the
that,
conversation right now.
Keine can play it.
Yeah, we would assume that Keine could play it, but Akali has been so handicapped.
Oh, Akali, the first time she hasn't been banned. Who gets her? Well, it has to be picked by APK. So it's going to be a Keine Akali performance. As we're trying to neutralize it with the Pantheon. Remember, it's All In. So it's not just Fly going back to his Fly ways or anything like that. As Dread, he was our best Elise last year.
And
He was quite good at the champion.
thing about this is a bit of a sinner comp coming out here for Afreeca. They have the Pantheon, they have the Elise. Now, Pantheon in top lane against Akali, it's not that bad. of a
have
matchup, and so I wonder if it will be for Kiin.
Well, I mean, it might just be that the Pantheon is going to follow wherever the Akali is going to go. I expect Akali to go mid because I don't see it as a ikssu champion unless it was old Akali, which I think he was a bit of an Akali savant back in the day before she got all of her reworks, back when no one was playing her. Of course, if you guys have a long memory, Lupa playing at Worlds, playing the Akali was certainly the last time I got excited about old version of Akali.
Aatrox.
All right, that's looking like we're definitely sinning this time around on Afreeca's side.
This is a pure all-in team composition, and when Akali gets drafted, she's pretty aggressive. She's pretty mid-rangey in terms of when she ends up coming online, but when the opponent's team composition is designed to do similar things, but also do it more oppressively and have more tools to suffocate, it's definitely a way to stylistically go up against her. Now, APK, are they going to realize this and add in more type of disengage and scaling to their team composition? It's perfectly fine to even have a mid Soraka come in, or top Soraka, and throw the Akali into mid lane.
Well, they've taken away the bow users. Mystic has most certainly been pinched at this point. Senna might be an option. Will be a lot of lethality on this squad if she is picked up.
Now, Pantheon is able to build Black Cleaver. And so,
that's a Caitlyn. All right.
Okay, Caitlyn coming in, and they're reserving counterpick for support, so I actually really like this. Makes it a little difficult for APK.
If you're gonna play, if you're gonna play a Caitlyn lane though, you almost have to have a caster support, right? Like we need one. We need a mage in the bottom.
Korea, Alice, come down. Just calm down, okay? All right, well, there is the type of champion that stops the hard engage.
Oh, heck yeah,
and
they
it's
allow
so
me to
good.
come in. I'm getting excited about APK. Getting excited.
Let's see what kind of support champion they do end up picking.
If it's Zyra, I'm done.
They won't Zyra.
It works
They
so
won't do
well
it.
in
And
conjunction with the Leap of Faith.
They would get countered in bot lane, and it would be a really rough time and put a lot of pressure on Flawless. So,
all right,
they're going to end up doing the Nautilus. So, APK did draft the type of champions that the archetype works very well against what Afreeca has. Are you kidding me?
God, you can't. Surely
Honestly.
not. Surely not. Oh, dear.
Production, is the graphic wrong here, or hello?
Well, Timothy Kenshins makes his way towards the bottom side.
What is he? What is
he there for?
This has to be the worst Tom Kench timing I've seen. I don't even know what is he supposed to do that other supports like Morgana or something wouldn't be able to achieve against the champions that APK has?
He's attempting to pop depth charge so that Mystic doesn't die to it.
But Black Shield.
Stop it. Your logic has no place here, okay? What we're doing is theorizing what he can do, okay?
Okay.
Not providing other options that can just do it better. Because if we did that, we'd make Afreeca look very silly, okay?
Okay.
That's not our job.
I'm sorry, Atlas. I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
Okay, I apologize.
Well, let's have a look at this draft first. The Akali finally makes her way in. Keine going to be the one piloting it as we expected. And ikssu up there towards the top lane on his famous Alawi against Kiin's famous Aatrox. This game could still be very fast and very Afreeca favored.
The thing is that the top lane matchup obviously heavily favors ikssu, and he's probably going to be a lot more versed in this matchup than Kiin is.
Likely. Although, I imagine a fair bit of the practice has been done against Alawis since the promotion. You know, he probably knew that this was a string to the APK bow that was going to be applied. As I'll be able to check out All In his debut. Of course, all in caps as well. It's fantastic. Maybe an homage to the now LEC bottom lane player, the G2, as sepia mode is upon us, so we're not going to be seeing anything.
Where we going? Where we going?
We're just doing some panning. Mystic's got a bit of a mouse problem. Generally, having a mouse that works is a necessary thing in League of Legends, so I can understand the pause. So we are trying to get to the bottom of it. Also trying to work out which track we're going to be vibing to during this pause as well. Still not sure. This one will be fine. I think this one's okay. As what are we looking for here?
I'm not.
I'm perplexed as to what the issue is. It looked like it might have been a mechanical problem.
I'm always confused when stuff like this ends up happening, but you can make it to the point of the game, and then apparently there's a problem.
Yeah, because he was up here practicing for a little while.
Yeah, that's what's so strange.
Yeah. Odd. Now we've got the suspenseful music coming in here. We're actually just showing you the LCK discography right now. All of the options on display. I just want to get in here and see whether APK can pilot this composition to perfection and show us why they deserve to be in the LCK. Being able to take down one of our top dogs, of course, Afreeca, top of the ladder at the moment, alongside Gen G. And they're looking to try and cement it, but it'll be 1 point behind. And honestly, losing games to the projected lowest team in the LCK is a huge deal. Because that is almost guaranteed points that your opposition at the top of the table are going to be getting.
Right.
And so being consistent is something that you need to be. And this is a brand new, mostly brand new, Afreeca roster with some parts that still remain. And it seems like some of their old inconsistencies still plague them.
Well, the team composition here for Afreeca, we just basically have to pay attention to the first 10-15 minutes, because if they don't get leads, this is going to be the worst chance at having hope in the later stages of the game, and that's just a byproduct of having the Aatrox and the Pantheon combined with the Elise. And the Alawi is such a nice spot right here.
Yeah, it's really cool.
In this game, as
it might actually just be negated, which is the problem. As Spirit on your screen right now, still a bit of a grin on his face, but not looking as comfortable as he would otherwise. How do you feel about the very casual Afreeca uniform? With like the cargo pants and like the drop shoulder jumper situation.
Are you asking what I think of
Yeah,
it?
your fashion opinion. Think it's a little bit too laid back, or do you like it having a bit more of the casual vibe?
I don't think it looks casual.
No?
I think it. I don't know. Atlas. Okay.
You
Look,
don't know?
the color of the pants. No, see, I can't say nice things. You're trapping me right now. You're actually trapping me. You need to stop it right now.
You didn't do very well getting your way out of it. I'm not going to lie to you.
There is nothing nice to say. Oh my god.
Sometimes it's not about fashion, and it's more about comfort and making sure your players
You
are
can
happy.
look good and be comfortable too.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
Well, maybe they unanimously agreed that this is their most comfortable option, and that's what the Afreeca Freecs value.
It's all making sense. They're drafts now.
That's why the Tom Kench was picked. It's like, Jelly, I've been trapped in the form of a
I
Tom
think this
Kench
looks
for
good.
2 years. I'm too used to it. It's like the Stockholm Syndrome. Tom Kench Stockholm Syndrome.
This looks like a good pick.
Yep.
This is a nice sweater.
This saved us so many times in 2018, so we should probably pick it, right?
Oh,
Caitlyn Tom Kench. Oh, I'd actually forgotten about it.
no. This is actually something else. It really is. Now, the APK jersey, it looks like a NASCAR kinda. It has like a car racer kind of vibe going on there. So
That's
I don't
because
have
it's
any
got
quarrels
sponsorships
with that.
actually
Now,
all over it. Yeah.
the best jersey on stage right now is actually the
Referee.
refs. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the LCK symbol.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best. He also has the
But
white gloves on. It reminds me of Mario.
What we really need
Yeah.
is to actually get some LCK merch, man. That's what I want to be able to
Dude,
represent the LCK.
I went to the Riot store again last week, and I asked the guy, I said, where's the TFT merch? It's almost been a year.
Apparently it's supposed to be coming out.
I need my Pengu.
Yeah, I need my Pengu too. I've actually been playing a bit of TFT recently. It's still fun. Been enjoying it.
I don't know how it's doing in Korea lately.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because I believe the League of Legends client, there's no two options, you know? So, anyway, All In does get the matchup that he's looking for against Keine here. The Pantheon versus Akali.
Now, I do believe that is the Prestige Akali skin.
Yeah.
And I think that looks quite nice.
It does.
So you could purchase that in the Riot store.
You can. It's only a certain amount of RP. Not
Yeah,
entirely
exactly.
sure how much it is.
Exactly.
I should do my research more. As I'm still not sure how this is going to go because this is an angry Afreeca Freecs. And this is an angry Kiin on a champion that he just did 40% of his team's damage on as a melee champion.
Also, it's probably really weird for Keine to be playing the Akali because she had her knees caved in the last
10-3.
patch.
Yeah.
Right, and so if you have played her at all, it's weird to go from what she is now to what she used to be.
Yeah, true.
In terms of muscle memory, but also how active have you been playing her given her ban rate in the LCK? And I think that that's actually a part of Afreeca's bluff.
Might be. They also knew that it was going mid lane as well, so could characterize around it pretty easily. As Mystic just gave up on creeps and decided that he was shooting his opponents as often as possible, which is the Caitlyn way. Harassment certainly a possibility here as Jelly getting his tongue lash out. And this is an Afreeca Freecs scorned right now. They are needing to prove to their fans that they are a top-tier contender in the LCK because that last loss was a big blow.
Yes.
Even game number 1, very large because just wasn't impressive from a team that we had such high expectations of. Now, Flawless, take his rap to camp. Dread is going to spot him out. Finds himself some popcorn chicken, so that is going to be it. And that's all because All In did have the shove in mid.
So they're able to utilize the priority and wave crash that All In had in mid lane. And you can see that Kiin still preoccupied now. Pantheon E and Elise Repel. It's something.
Yeah, Flawless was out of vision. Now comes in. Cocoon is going to go wide. The dive not going to be successful. Dread, bit of a drive-by here. Keine just going to clear out all of the minions. And All In going to miss a couple of them, but not really be in too much trouble. Really moves on back. Flawless is still bottom side, but vision is there for Afreeca. Mystic, once again smashing hybrid. This is the same bottom lane matchup as we had in game number 1. Not sure how that double up missed the Caitlyn. Walking forward at exactly the right time.
In the lane state right now for the Pantheon as well, it's just so good. Akali did manage to recall for Longsword and Refillable, but aside from that, Pantheon is sitting pretty in mid, also has the teleport available as Jelly.
Oh no, Peacemaker going to go completely wide. Secret completely out of consumables though as the Cocoon lands here, and in fact the Gromp doing some work here onto Flawless as well, down to 200. Kiin gets the first roam, tries to zone out ikssu, he's going to be able to do so as the Gromp going to be taken here most likely. Control ward, put down. Dread may actually just find this one immediately. Oh no, Flawless, he did not want to start that one up.
And now All In, again, able to utilize his crash in mid lane. And Dread is going to get 2 camps for free.
Yeah, really nice work from All In to make sure that he's constantly abusing the fact that he has the shove.
Yes.
In that mid lane. Keine not quite at the Akali level that we're used to seeing her at. Still, of course, laning phase going fine, and this is costing All In. Not too much, as another double up. Gets robbed from hybrid. Still a big lead for Mystic after his relentless shoves. Liking the Pantheon here out of all in though. He was more of a mage caster support player.
Yes. As
Oh no.
so far, Flawless is
Getting
okay.
abused.
He
Just
is
straight up abused. This is what Dread does though. He plays so aggressive on Caitlyn in the early game. Great dredge line jelly. Uses the Devour. An ability name I never wanted to say again.
Tom needs, you know,
I have to.
I really hope that the meta does eventually progress to a state where Tom does end up getting buffed again.
Yeah.
Right now, in this current state, there's just a lot of other champions that fulfill stuff, but here comes Pantheon.
Yeah, in he goes. Secret back underneath the turret. This might be a botched dive as double teleports do bring the rest of APK over. Test of Spirit down onto Mystic. He gets devoured as the second shot of the ultimate. Not going to land from Keine. That actually saved them. Jelly, brilliant play there. Keine having to flash. The flash over from Kiin. He is angry right now. 200 health on Flawless, but Kiin can't close the distance onto him. Mystic trying to get the autos where he needs them as Kiin picks up turret aggro. Umbral Dash comes down and Secret may have actually bitten off more than he can chew. Ignite was down there as that's a test of Spirit. Mystic is going to survive. So now we're going to get the tentacles to come in and Mystic will have to avoid them as Dread, I don't know whether he wants to be here. He absolutely doesn't. Hybrid going to grab that kill, but Afreeca still ahead. And the Alawi just fell in the interim. So, as the dust settles, it's a gold lead for Afreeca.
It's a gold lead for Afreeca, but take a look at the minimap right now. Kiin's lane state in top is beautiful. He has such a
Oh my goodness.
thick wave.
Yeah, the
waiting
wave
for
just
him.
meeting it as well.
With 3 Cs.
Oh. Triple C?
Triple Cs.
My goodness.
Up there waiting as Grand Skyfall, it came in right away. Pantheon takes 1 turret shot. Hybrid trying to deal damage. Keine eventually ends up getting in here. Looked like he was looking for Dread, and then the trap.
The Devour was unbelievable from Jelly.
The Akali walked over the bear trap right there, broke her ankles as Kiin
Is
with
that what
the World
happened in
Ender.
10-3?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that is what happened.
It all makes sense. I like how there's a storyline to it.
He ended up having turret aggro, which he was not probably expecting. They ended up dealing a lot of damage to ikssu, but then because of the turret aggro, Mystic gets zoned out of the fight here. Dread doesn't have anything really left going for him here, but they are able to get 1 more kill. So the top lane state was fantastic for Kiin, and I think he just unlocked it and shoved it.
Flawless continues to get abused in this jungle matchup, but has been able to get a few of those camps back, considering Dread falling at the end of the last team fight. May actually be huge for the Lee Sin, who needs to desperately farm. Shelly going to get started, and some honey fruits are going to be devoured here. Flawless goes over to clear out a control ward. Alright, but taking some damage, but he's going to avoid the Peacemaker for now. Double up doesn't connect onto anything else, and of course needs to kill the target if it's going to do extra damage. Now all in, coming down, Grand Skyfall so close as Dread throws a cocoon into Narnia. It's the repel. Dread actually diving on top of Secret for some odd reason. Now down to about half health as Keine walking over a ward, and Dread is going to be able to steal away this red buff. Regardless, almost has his next smite available as Mystic tanking up turret shots. And in comes the Grand Skyfall. They're looking for Hybrid. He flashes to get out of the way. There it is. The ultimate flies through for Mystic and picks up the kill as now Secret will be the next one. A double for the Caitlyn. The Devour avoids the death. And now even plates are going to be eaten up here.
Oh!
Flawless gets out. Not going to be able to do that next. Sorry. That's a safeguard. That is not Keine. Never mind. It's about to talk about the nerf to the R. But here's Keine. Should be able to push this wave at least into the turret. But this turret is almost dead.
Mountain Dragon should be able to be picked up by Afreeca also at some point in the future here. And you know that meme, Atlas, about my friendship ended with so-and-so and now I'm friends with...
Yeah. I know
Okay,
that
well,
one.
I'll tell you about that after. As Grand Skyfall came in here. They said misfortune, misfortune. Actually, one of the I know that what he did was just really good, and obviously the execution, the timing on it was all really good, but the pro view, we've gotten actually a few of them here.
Yeah, it's cool.
But the mouse control there, a little
Not a
not as
fan?
comparable
Wasn't-
as some of the other pro views that we've gotten.
You didn't like the lack of F key pressing during the mini team
Well, we
fight
can't all
skirmish
be
as well?
Faker.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a good point. Actually, honestly, sometimes watching Faker's streams does give me a little bit of anxiety. Because I'm like just wondering how he can take in all that information in a relevant fashion all the time. Like
That's one of the comments that I see all the time when people first see F keys. They think that people can't see everything that is going on inside of F keys, but it really just takes a lot of getting used to, especially in the other game where it was most important, StarCraft 1.
Oh,
the
yeah.
screens move even faster.
and you
So,
have to do it.
and
as
you
well, like,
have to do it.
You
so
actually can't not. Yeah.
depending on some situations, there's even more data to sort of take in.
I have a feeling Flawless might die here. Has to flash. Safeguard's going to be there as well, but wanted to use the better option. Guarantee no travel time. But no, you're right, and I get the anxiety because I don't do it, right? I'm a pretty casual League of Legends player myself. And I see that and I'm like, how does he know? How does he understand the information that he's getting in this, 0.3 second window? And it's just impressive, right? Because you just know where to look. You know what you're looking for. You gather that piece of information, and then you move on.
Mystic just getting so much value.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly what he needs to, right? This is one of our old strategies that we used to see quite a lot. It's pick Caitlyn, destroy turrets. And he's got the perfect build for it. You build Berserker's Greaves so you can get to a lane as fast as possible, and then you build flat AD and attack speed. Crit, basically unnecessary here. I'd actually like him to build something like a Zeal next. More movement speed, more attack speed. There's the dredge line. Depth charge, I believe. No, just used as Jelly goes golden. Teleport now to come in as there's the Grand Skyfall, and Tahm Kench kept alive, and the Dragon taken just solo by Dread. I love this, the damage control. I understand the thinking for the Tahm Kench. I know we don't want to do it, but he's buying so much time and allowing for these teleports and for the Grand Skyfalls and everything to channel, and then for everyone to get there, and then Mystic to survive, and also giving Mystic the leeway to play hyper-aggressive in these laning phases, and that's allowed the 35 CS gap, the gigantic amount of plates. I believe he's got 10 plates now.
Yeah.
Not solo on 10, but has been present for 10.
He has a lot of plates on him. That is an extremely fed Caitlyn.
And Caitlyn has to be fed if you want to be
Yes.
relevant moving into a mid-game, and they have a mid-game comp. Like, this is how the Caitlyn had to be played to get through what is the trough
Yes.
that Caitlyn suffers from at about 2 items. So now with the Infinity Edge, there is no trough. That's not what we're talking about here, because if you're accelerated, those sort of statistics don't really matter.
Right now, it's going to be so difficult for APK's team composition to handle a Caitlyn that is as big as she is
Kiin's
inside
also
of this game.
40 CS up
Yeah, I
in
mean,
a counter matchup.
you know what though, Atlas? Having one really good game every 3 games.
Is not enough?
Yeah, my friendship ended with Kiin. I'm friends with Mystic now.
Yeah, well.
That's
He's the carry, and he's about to go 100% win rate if they do win this game.
yes.
So what is it telling you?
Well, it's telling me that sometimes Afreeca likes to play with their food. That's what.
Yeah. And they like to give all of their players as much experience as possible. I do like how All-In's been playing the Pantheon as well. I don't want to play favorites with mid laners either, because I know that Fly's won a lot of games on the Pantheon. 3 out of the 4 that he's played so far, but I liked what All-In was able to do in the early game. As Flawless now going to take way too much damage.
Okay.
Ace in the hole, not going to be utilized. Too many friends around as Test of Spirit comes in. And Jelly is going to, I guess, pass the test.
Now he looks like Jelly.
Yay!
See?
All right, Shelly doing some work here. Split pushing.
Shelly is a little angry up there.
Yeah, Kiin going to give her something to chomp down on, I think.
Ooh. Atrox's sword must be really strong.
Oh, didn't quite get the activation of the Infernal Chains, but it doesn't actually matter because there are no turret plates, nor was it able to actually take that Test of Spirit. Shouldn't have landed, but it did. That was very odd. As that's a dredge line to end all dredge lines, but there's the Devour. Bullet time, Mystic outranges it. Another Test of Spirit. The most important ability to hit when it was Kleptomancy. Alawi, I don't know whether that's still the max now.
Apparently it is.
It's still a max?
Yep.
Okay. Needed to double check. Because of course, Alawi's ability to abuse Klepto was just broken.
Yes.
Because you got stacks off the Test of Spirit.
Interestingly, ikssu is going Conqueror on Alawi, whereas the Alawi enthusiast on Korea that a lot of the Korean pro players will look at to evaluate Alawi's standing in the meta. And they do that by determining, well, is this player in D2 right now, or did he eventually make his way back up to High Grandmaster Challenger? And then they will look at that for where Alawi might be fitting in, based on things going on around her. And so
I like that. I like that.
That player only runs Omnistone on Alawi.
Okay.
So when it comes to the one tricks, usually on the Korean ladder, they do spend a lot of time trying to min-max areas that other players might not do. We also saw that with Hushin Huya, the Jax god.
Yep.
Who managed to remain basically in the top 20 for like 2 years playing Jax. I'm not quite sure what he's up to right now, as the ladder did have a reset, so also don't even know if he actually name changed. And also Spear of Sojin.
Yeah, Spear of Sojin being
game.
missing is it's really hurt our Renekton mains and our Jax mains, most definitely. Riven as well.
And okay, well, 5,500 almost is the advantage for Afreeca. And a lot of that is inside of the Caitlyn, who is where you want all of your gold to be.
Yep,
and then after that, probably Elise you would want it to be in.
I guess so, because she's the sole magic damage dealer. It's funny having sort of in the same series conversations about Elise should not have any money, and then when she should, as Make It Rain comes down. Good dredge line once again from Secret, as Ace in the Hole comes in just to soften up the members of APK. Dread coming on down, looking for Keine. Finds a control ward instead. There is a Drake to be picked up. Kiin looking like he has his eyes set on that one, as another minion wave is going to travel towards the outer turret, and Dread is going to start this Drake up. Afreeca are desperate for an Infernal Drake to be coming up next, but Ocean, I guess, wouldn't be too bad. And it is, in fact, going to be that Ocean Soul.
Yeah, Ocean's actually really good for Afreeca. And the reason is because Akali and Alawi fight around cooldowns.
Yep.
So the cooldowns give enough time for the Ocean Soul to come back up and keep applying it. And if that ends up happening, Afreeca's going to be virtually unkillable. Whereas if they had an Infernal Soul, sure, they deal insane amounts of damage, but there's still the chance that Akali and Alawi can bring you down. Whereas Ocean prohibits that, and when you're Afreeca and you're already so far ahead, you're already dealing unnatural amounts of damage. You have higher base stats because you're likely going to have level advantages. You have more HP because of level advantages. So Ocean is definitely the ideal dragon for Afreeca in this spot, all things considered, because it just strips away potential outs that APK could end up having.
I also think it looks the prettiest, as I've mentioned many times
what?
before,
I think
so
that
I'm
too,
totally
Alice.
okay with this
Sort of like
Ocean Drake.
the Mists to Pandaria.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it?
I want a panda character in LoL.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a panda skin. I mean, there is a
You could
panda
make a
character
panda Volibear.
because Tivers is a panda in one of the skins.
Okay.
There's Panda Teemo.
Ooh, there is Panda Teemo.
We got multiple pandas. I don't know how you don't.
I really hope
the
Teemo gets
pandas.
buffed at some point in the future, by the way. I think that he is on the cusp of being competitively viable.
Oh my goodness!
I know that you would like that. I would like that too.
I'm completely against that with every fiber of my being. Oh, the scariest traps, the most delicious of cupcakes. And not going to be eaten by Secret. And look, this is at the moment, Afreeca just going around, taking turrets, exactly what this composition is supposed to do. Rapid fire cannon done for Mystic. He's probably going to be going for another attack speed item of some kind next up. Likely Phantom Dancer to avoid being one-shot by the Akali.
Yep. Runon's Hurricane isn't particularly bad here because of how clumped up APK will tend to be when they fight.
Yeah, the only problem is your Caitlyn, of course, and so you outrange it often. But I can understand it, because APK do want to be jumping on the Caitlyn as much as possible.
The other thing about Runon's is that if Atrox and Pantheon are giving you Black Cleaver Shred, and you're hitting multiple targets, that'll obviously feel very nice as well.
Yeah, I like that all-in rush, the Black Cleaver as well, because a lot of armor is going to be built this game, so you just have to try and soften up the targets as quickly as possible. And so if they're both attacking the same target, both him and Kiin, then Mystic will be able to start chunking through. Crit Cloak going to be the next purchase here for Mystic, most likely heading towards another Zeal, as is the Caitlyn way. Haven't really seen too much from this permaband Akali. Looks a little bit like Kiin wasn't entirely ready. They had to pick it away because Kiin would have put on a clinic on the champion.
And
ikssu.
Yeah, this is definitely weird. Definitely a bit strange of a game state right now if you're APK. You're so far behind, minute and a half until Ocean Dragon ends up coming up.
And then Ocean Soul is threatened 5 minutes after that. This Afreeca squad are on track to what they want to be doing with this composition. Doesn't have a lot of modes, but the one mode it does have, if it works very well as ikssu. Taking a lot of damage, Leap of Faith, not going to be used, actually did, but doesn't do anything. You need to hit multiple targets for it to really be effective as Kiin now looking for more. World Ender still available. Death Dance online, he'll be able to get all his health back very quickly. And this is reminding me, do you remember watching Avatar, the movie, the Blue People movie?
Yeah.
Do you remember
what do you mean the Blue People?
It's not the cartoon is the reference. Do you remember the Na'vi? The Na'vi.
Tread lightly here, Alice.
Okay, I apologize.
Tread
Anyway,
lightly. You're talking about Ryze's parents. Go ahead.
it reminds me of the bulldozer in that movie. This
The
composition.
bulldozer.
You know, the giant bulldozer moving towards the Earth tree?
We talking about the Amazon rainforest?
Oh, God. There's no need to get topical with absolutely everything that I said.
Topical? Well, you meant tropical. And you're just making these jokes because of Ocean Drake.
No, you're the one making the jokes.
I don't know
I'm
where you're
trying
going
to
with this.
make a metaphor, and it's not
Today
quite
is
working.
Wednesday.
All right, it is. That's correct.
Just wanted to let you know that. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Thanks, man.
And after that, it's Friday.
Well, ikssu doesn't have ult. Would have liked it. Some sort of flash ult play. Doesn't have flash either, though, so I guess didn't have too many options. This Jelly wants to avoid these tentacles. ikssu in trouble. That ult is there, but he's just dead. That's what happens sometimes when you're playing the Alawi. You find the perfect leap of faith zone, and you can't press the button because you're dead. As Kiin, I believe, just stole away that. No, he didn't. That was flawless. They managed to secure it.
Well, let's take a look at this one more time as Dread gonna get ready to go into ikssu. Does the leap of faith, but Dread tells him that he's not a believer.
Well, sometimes if you make a leap of faith, it doesn't work out, right? You know, life's about taking risks, calculated risks, and that was a risk that didn't pay off. You know? And once again in the next fight as well. And sometimes when you take too many risks and they all don't pay off, it's time to cut your losses. We'll see how ikssu is going to be able to play that one out as this game goes, because
Well, this game is, I mean, it definitely, now take a look at this recall animation. Looks absolutely exquisite, looks extremely royal. Also like the music that it plays.
yep. Prestige KDA Akali, absolutely fantastic. Available in your Riot store for a certain amount of RP. If you would like to have that one yourself. She doesn't come with kneecaps anymore, which is a little bit unfortunate. Oh, wow. That was very close to Flawless getting pulled back. Didn't even need to use the safeguard, apparently.
Well, when you move like Akali moved for 2 years straight,
well,
it's probably
where
not.
is Kiin moving?
Okay.
He's moving over the wall, trying to get the heck out of there. Oh, Devour. pretty cool ability. As Lee Sin dies as an afterthought, All In turns up and his target's already gone. That's how you want your Pantheon experience to be, is now able to eat up so much of the hybrid damage as in goes Kiin, but it's a perfect exhaust out from Jelly. Are we in a game on 10.2 where the Tahm Kench deserves an MVP?
No.
It's really
Atlas.
sad. It's really sad because I almost think he does. And the Runon's Hurricane was actually the decision, like you were talking about. The Mystic went for. Understanding that, you know, will help his wave clear, will help a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, helps
and,
the siege.
Won't need to worry too much about outraging it.
And the enemy clumps up so much, so it's a really, really good item to just end up picking up. And I love the itemization on All In right now. He gets the Guardian Angel. This opens up the dive potential, lets him dive turrets with the E, come out of res, E again. And this is such a obnoxious amount of essentially a stasis. As we see in this replay here, Kiin biting off a little bit more than he can chew, almost ends up dying. And yeah,
we need the slow-mo.
Well, you know what?
Strong.
We had to get that bread.
Oh,
That's
my.
what
Yeah, well, we got it.
just happened right there. As
Jonas
now
Strong
we-
is, of course, LCK Observer. And he sometimes likes to have some fun with things. As Kiin misses a cannon creep.
is his
Cut the
name
video.
a play on the Korean word, which stands for the English F word with ing at the end? Is it a play on that?
I don't think so.
Because is literally what his name means. It wouldn't translate it, yeah.
No, I don't know.
All right, well,
I don't think
okay.
so. I like to think that he's a wholesome gentleman.
Okay.
As our secret,
Or
not
might
going to get cocooned. Dread was trying to cocoon the wall and did so successfully. I believe there's a bug in that wall that is now covered in web. No. But APK are watching themselves just slowly go down the drain. And I was actually, you know, to be honest, a little bit sad that this was likely to be the outcome for this game. 'Cause it just shows that Afreeca haven't quite got that consistency, haven't got themselves together, but when they're pushed, they are able to do so. And I want them to play clean every game. And, don't use the LCK to experiment. Scrims are for that.
Afreeca, I mean, they're threatening
Oh, nice.
Ocean
upset.
Soul in 1 minute. And that's if APK doesn't try to just lose the game right here or try to win it.
Well, they're going to go for it as the leap of faith did come down, but the tentacles aren't moving. He can't actually press his W button as now Keine trying to dance around the back line, but the allow is already dead. Kiin is on a huge rampage right now. He's an angry man as Flawless trying to fight him at the World Ender is straight busted. It's only a triple for Kiin, but it's an ace for the Afreeca Freecs, and they should just win the game.
Yeah, they're going to be able to win right here. Caitlyn, Atra, I mean, 4 members remaining is more than enough damage with this cannon wave to end this game. 11 seconds on Secret, but I got a secret for you, Atlas. We're going to the next series after this one.
We are. We are up
Which
to
I guess
the
it really wasn't a secret, but...
Sandbox versus Griffin up after this. Our 2018 promoted teams at it once again. We'll see whose power level is going to be higher, but congratulations to the Afreeca Freecs. They turn around a woeful game 1 and 2, honestly. Both of their games weren't great, but they still were able to get there in the end.
I'm watching you.
Yeah, I know, you're really worried about my MVP vote. All right, never mind. I'll give it to All In.
What?
I liked his Pantheon. I thought it was good. But I really did want to give it to Jelly. I just feel like I would be bullied if I did.
All right, so in this game, Afreeca, I mean, they maintained permanent priority in all 3 lanes because they had 3 prior lanes.
Yeah.
So another really good thing about this game is we got to see Akali be off theme from some of her teammates' champions, and then we also got to see her lose. So
100% loss rate.
100% loss rate. Previously,
Terrible
100%
champion.
ban rate.
Yeah.
But this
She
is
was
this is
100%
the type of,
absent until she 100% lost.
these are the type of things that make me happy in leagues when champions are being held to this standard of 100% ban. We saw it with Lucian even early on when Lucian came out.
Yeah.
didn't end up performing that good. And so you have to wonder, really, where is the hype coming from? And just because a champion's strong doesn't mean that there's not ways to answer it.
Yeah, and oftentimes when a champion like this is left available, it's because you have a strategy that can neutralize it, right?
Yes.
The only reason you would leave it up is so that you can counter it with X and Y.
Right, and so that's why baiting it
Yeah.
can oftentimes just be effective. But so many times we've been seeing bans allocated towards Lucian, Elise, and these other champions where you sit there scratching your head like, why isn't just Aphelios getting banned if he seems to be
I'm
so
still
problematic?
so surprised that he
it's
hasn't
so
really
weird,
been
but
banned. He was banned in the last game of this series.
He
And,
was.
that was what
Finally.
Afreeca decided to do, and then he didn't get first picked, and he didn't run them over. So there you go. That being said, didn't run them over in game number 1 either, just had a decent laning phase. As we check out some of the highlights here from our first series and the final game of said series. This first dive was not the greatest, but
Yeah.
Jelly saving it right there.
And honestly, that was Kiin just falling on a bear trap. Then eventually getting pinned down by the Pantheon, Kiin flashing over the wall. Got a little bit overzealous. Mystic not quite able to kill Secret right there.
Very close.
Then had to run for the hill due to the turret aggro. And eventually ikssu was brought down along with Dread, so I gave the MVP to Mystic.
I think it's understandable. I just feel like he was there shooting the turrets, but All In was down there making sure that he could do it for the entire game.
So far in the LCK, it is almost non-existent to see such discrepancies in roles. We have it in top lane, typically with Summit, Nuguri, and Kiin to an extent. And then when Chovy went up there, we had it with him as well. And in bot lane,
and Rascal in his good days as well has certainly performed.
right, we have it with Mystic, but there's almost no one that is as so consistent at doing it as Mystic is. And so it's definitely a bit nostalgic almost from when League was lesser understood and players were less capable. Used to have this happen a lot more.
And it was more about not necessarily the champions, but it was about the players just being amazing. And we didn't have these extended conversations about draft as much. So this is about Keine like doing everything that he possibly could to try and get some sort of kill, but unfortunately wasn't able to, and eventually Ignites also wear off. So Kiin gets so much of his health back in like 3 auto attacks after the World Ender. No quadra kill for Kiin, but a triple to end this one. 11k damage. This time Hybrid was able to get some auto attacks off, able to get some ultimates there, but just was not enough for APK Prince after Afreeca managed to control that early game. And I like to think that it was in a large part to All In subbing in and being so proactive. Dread being so proactive, getting around his jungle and getting into the lanes and controlling things here for Afreeca, showing that they can use their subs and can use them to great effect. And when Dread came in the Casper Cup, it didn't look great. But now, comes in here for LCK 2020 and he's fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, and taking a look at player of the game, it is actually going to be All In.
Max chose correctly this time.
Congratulations, Max. I just want to
Thank you.
congratulate you on that one.
I like to think that I had a lot of room to grow after some of my other embarrassing moments when it comes to POGs.
Well,
And getting a kill with the Grand Skyfall is always fun. As in it comes, that's all the Pantheon.
and
Look at the mechanics.
I mean, he is baking some bread, the way I look at it.
And
So
he's bringing that bread home alongside some bacon, because that's exactly what that skin was demonstrating.
there was no Sejuani in that game.
Well, that's a good point.
And also the fact that you would suggest killing Kevin Tuggles. Honestly,
Oh, that's what you call Bristle, isn't it?
Kevin Tuggles.
Kevin Tuggles.
Kevin Tuggles, thank you.
I've forgotten because we don't have Sejuani in our league anymore. Thank goodness. She might be in our next game.
Stop.
She might. I mean, Tarzan's in. He's not exactly in form, but he was the guy that played off meta Sejuani.
Oh, I'm feeling a bit ill.
Yeah. The nausea starting to set in.
Oh.
It's all right. We're going to have an interview very soon, and you can
네,
write
2주차
yourself.
첫
And
매치를
thankfully,
승리로
it is
장식한
right now.
아프리카
So let's pass it to
프릭스죠.
Ji-sun
미스틱
for some
선수 오린
translation.
선수 모실게요.
Thank you very much,
안녕하세요.
guys. This is Jason with the Universe Translation, and we'll be hearing from Mystic,
아프리카
all in
프릭스에게
from Afreeca
쉽지
Freecs,
않은
picking up
경기였죠.
2-1
미스틱
victory
선수
up against
그래도
APK.
마지막 승리로 장식했는데
Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling? Well,
Well,
in the beginning, we didn't really do a great work because we did not focus. So if we focus better, we could get a faster win. So it was really eye-torturing game. We just got one-ered, kind of.
제일 아쉽지 않을까 싶어요. 특별한 이유가 있었던 건 아닌 거죠?
What went wrong, especially? Nothing really happened. It just we weren't really focusing in game.
그리고 오린 선수 정말 무거운 짐을
And
지고
all
출전을
in.
했습니다.
I guess you had a lot of pressure subbing in for the decider match.
일단 초반에 무난하게 가는 게 너무
Well,
싫어가지고
I really didn't want the game to go easy in the early phase, so I just want to destroy the bot lane.
장면을 좀 먼저
Then I
만나볼까
think we
해요.
have to talk
지금
about
첫
the
번째
destroying
경기
bot
아주
lane strategy.
깔끔하게 이루어지진
Because the first
않았거든요.
Bot
네,
lane
두
turret dive
번째
was not
이어서
really
바로
clean, but
노렸던 이유,
the
또
consecutive
어떻게
one
작은 보셨는지
was really
들어볼게요.
impactful. So can you tell us more about it?
각인데 안 빼가지고
Well, actually, they were
네,
in
아프리카
kind of
프릭스 판테온이 굉장히 지금
well in a really
서늘하잖아요.
dangerous situation, but they did not back, so we wanted to just go for the dive.
돈 터뜨리기 좋아서
And the reason we prefer Pantheon a lot is because it's really good to destroy the bot lane. And if we destroy the bot lane, the game gets destroyed. So bottom equals game.
그 전략이 제대로 통했고요.
I guess that strategy
사실
really
플라이
worked
선수는
out.
좀 이제 판테온이 질린다 이런 얘기를
And
하긴
Fly
하는데
also
오린 선수
mentioned that
어떠세요?
playing Pantheon, he's kind of sick of it.
저도 지금 이제 안
Me
될까
too.
생각하고 있어요.
Same.
아니 판테온 자꾸 그렇게 좋은 모습 보여주셨으면
Well, you did pull off a great performance on Pantheon, but you're now not using it. I mean, like, we're just gonna keep it, hold it on to the right timing.
자, 이렇게 세 번째 세트를 가져오면서 승리를
So with
장식을
that
했는데요.
third game
뭐
win, you guys
여러
got the
가지
match
어려움이
win.
있었지만 사실은 첫 번째 경기를
However,
승리로 가져오게
let's go back to
했어요.
game number
뭐 여러
one.
가지
Mystic,
복잡한 일들이
you
많았던
were
일
the really
세트였는데
critical
결국은
role to
마지막
close out
한타로
game
끝났죠.
number one.
그때 이제 미스틱 선수의 한
That
방이
last
제대로
team
공략을
fight
했는데 포지셔닝은 어떻게 하셨는지
Started with her
설명을
ultimate
보면서 이야기
finding
들어볼게요.
Victor. So can you tell us more about this situation?
이제 마지막 원딜의 소임이 남았을 때였죠. 기억이 나시나요?
그냥
Well, I just
빅토르
Victor, you know,
그러니까 저기 딱 저기 잘 서로 자리 잡았을 때부터
when we were in position,
저기 혼자 있길래
Victor was isolated.
볼수 있냐고 얘기를 하다가
So we were talking about we have to engage on Victor. So when he was a little bit stepping forward, I just landed ult.
치는데 저분은 플래시 쓰고
Well, usually, well, players just dodge it, but he used his flash and also he got the ultimate still landed. So yeah, that's about it.
전반적으로 아쉬운 게 굉장히 많으신가 봐요.
I guess you are really unsatisfied with today's performance.
그중에서 제일 아쉬운 거는 계속 말씀드리지만 선수들이
And,
아닐까 싶습니다.
Uh,
다음 경기 각오
so,
잡아볼게요. 네.
let's talk about your upcoming match.
오늘 좀
Today,
전화
we,
전체적으로 다 별로
me and my
잘했는데
teammates were underperforming.
다음
So
경기부터는 잘
starting from the
해야죠.
next match, we will do
자,
better.
잘할게요.
We will.
네. 파이팅 하시길 바라겠습니다. 자, 그리고 오린
And
선수는
all in.
사실 뭐 마지막 경기 나와서 본인은 잘했기 때문에
Well, you did a great performance subbing in the last game, so you might not be as unsatisfied. So
계속해서 경기 출전에 대한
So,
각오가 남다르실 텐데 이번
I
시즌
guess you
목표를
also really want to
세워볼까요?
be a starting player. You know, you want to sub in more. So any goal for the split? I want to win every game I play, and also I want to play more game than Fly.
진짜 고생 많았고요. 네.
It was a really tough day for you guys, so shout out to the Afreeca players, and this will be the end of the interview with Mystic, all in from Afreeca Freecs, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun. Fantastic to hear from both All In and Fly. All In, of course, previously Sun, who did play a few games last year, was able to pick up a pentakill on Zoe. Probably one of the most uninspired pentakills, to be honest. He was just tidying up, but still was able to do it. That goes on his permanent record. Great news. As Afreeca, you can see, able to sit themselves at 3-0, but not exactly the most I guess, heartening 3-0 that we've seen thus far. As gives Dragon X an opportunity to even out the tables alongside Afreeca with a 2-0 victory in their next match.
And the other thing about this is T1 probably surprising some people on the right-hand side right now.
Yeah.
They're in the Eastern bracket. I believe that's what they call it here, right?
I believe so. They are going to be playing tomorrow up against KT for our telecom war, but we still have one more series tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sandbox and Griffin are going to take to the Rift. Griffin will be on our blue side starting in their first game. And we'll see what our 2018 promotion teams are going to be able to offer to us in 2020. Because I think maybe, finally, the tables have turned. This has most of the time been a Griffin-favored matchup. But certainly, considering the start of the season thus far, Sandbox looking better. So we'll see you after about a 30-minute break.